it's just a paved road, and like each go this way, it's been rough, it's been crooked, it's been hard. But I've made up in my mind that I will get a reward for the pain that I go through. I will not stop in the middle of the process. I will not be defeated. I will not be destroyed. I will take everything that happens in my life and I will allow the pain to push me to greatness. You will not break me. You will not stop me. You will not defeat me.
Yes, sir. Cole, what up?
Barbers!
What it do? What it do?
Up, y'all?
What's going on, everybody? I go by the name It's Marvy Marv. As always, joined by my co-host, Will Stam.
What up, y'all?
And today we got a special guest. We got my man, Cole,
Hey,
Cuts Brand. Welcome to
What
Gym
it
Talk.
do?
I hear some. Is it me that got it playing in the background, or one of y'all got it playing in the background? Can y'all hear that?
I can't hear it.
That might
I
be
can
me.
hear it.
Hold up. Let me close that out.
I
Can y'all
hear
still
it.
hear me?
Yeah, I hear
There we
you.
go.
All right, we good. Cole,
We
welcome
good.
to Gen Talk, bro.
What it do, man? It's a pleasure.
Appreciate you taking the time out your schedule to make this happen. I put up that
Absolutely.
video a couple weeks ago where you were snapping. I have to bring that up at some point. But a lot of people in the comments were saying, we need him on Gem Talk. We need him on Gem Talk. So I'm like, all right, let me reach out to him. And again, I appreciate you for taking the time and doing this with me and Will. And I know it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a real one. It's going to be a raw one. And it's going to be very valuable. So,
Hey,
well-
I remember. Hey, Marv, I remember that video you're talking about. Cole, that might have been like top post all year.
Oh,
That
you mean
joint was crazy?
I'm going to see if I can pull it up real quick. Hold on. Let me see.
I don't think
I'm going to try to find it
one
real
thing.
quick.
I don't think you missed one thing. When
Nah,
Marv
he
sent me
snapped.
that, I was like, "Yo, what did he miss?"
You remember what video I'm talking about? It's the one where you were talking about barbers don't want to like cut hair no more.
Everybody
Yeah.
want to be an influencer. He was
Uh-huh.
like, "They don't pay these people much money," and he said, "You're gonna get you a bunch of free ass clippers." I recited it for like, I watched it 10 times in a row because I was
Right.
like, yo, he went off on this one. This was funny.
Yeah, man, it just come out of passion and from what I see a lot in the industry, you know, traveling around like I've been doing lately. I've noticed that. I noticed when after my talks or my class or workshop or whatever, I always like to have a Q&A to kind of see where the new barber's at. And they'll come up to me talking and right. And the main question is, how do I grow my social media? How do I get followers? And I'm like, if you know how much stuff I've been through from with barbering and to be a barber and the barbers that I know, growing your social media should be the last thing you worried about, because it's about being behind the chair, you know, and making some damn money. But at the same time, it's not all about being an influencer. Like most of these barbers don't even know nothing yet, but I know who they looking up to. I know what they looking at. I know what they see. And I know what they think they need to do, because I see some of them try to mimic that. And it's like you getting a little bit ahead of yourself. You putting the cart before the horse. So yeah, that just came out of me naturally.
Yeah. And I felt it. And it reminds me when I watched that, right, that you have like an edge to you, right? Because, you know, when I'm talking to people, I go into that mode too, where it's just like people can feel me talk. And I saw that in the video and I felt that. So one of the questions I do want to ask you is like, what makes that edge so apparent, right? You've obviously been through some things in your life. I don't know if people know or they don't know, but there's been some things where I can feel your passion and your drive and your like disgust for people not, you know, doing what works or keeping the main thing and getting caught up in all this glitz and glamour and the things they think it should be like. So if you could share some of the challenges and then the mentality it took to kind of get over those things, if you could.
Well, you know, I grew up in the projects, of course, you know, typical African-American family in the projects. It was hard, rough, all that. I was brought up a certain type of way. I come up in the streets, right? Committing crimes since a kid, all that, you know, grew up like that, horrible, right? Grew up dysfunctional family, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, once I did become a barber throughout those challenges, I had to filter out a lot of the things that I've learned in order for me to be prosperous as a barber, right? And I grew up with a lot of childhood trauma, right? Dad shot my mom in the head, you know, went through her ear. She didn't die from it, but she lost all her hearing on one side.
How old were you when that happened?
Around about 5 or 6.
Wow, man.
And that memory is very vivid, you know. Didn't really understand what was happening at that time, and then later, you know, I found out some things about that situation that also was traumatizing, right? That broke our family up, right? My mother's on drugs, harsh drugs, all the same way. So of course I start going to jail early, juvenile, on up until adulthood, start going to a prison. And
so let me ask you real quick, right before you get into it, because you grew up in that dysfunction, the prison thing that kind of felt normal, huh?
Oh, it was easy. I'm gonna just be real.
Yeah,
prison was easy. It's just that being in there, they take away your freedom.
Yeah.
Being in prison, growing up in that dysfunctional environment, you was already groomed for prison, and you kind of know you're gonna go already. So as soon as I touched the yard, I was like, okay, fighting, dealing with guys at a high rate, like being stiff and stuff, all that, washing your drawers on your hands, taking showers in cold water, using a fan for air. Like that's how we grew up. Eating ramen noodles, eating a tuna out the package. This was normal. Now, however, because I'm not glorifying in no way, form, or fashion.
Right.
That was the strange part, Will, that it was easy. That was strange to me, because I'm like, whoa, how do I know how to do all this, right?
Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah, so prison wasn't hard to be in there, and plus, you know, part of the neighborhood I'm from and all that is down here in Texas is pretty big in prison, so it my family in there, my childhood friends in here. This where everybody at.
Where was the turning point?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that next. Like, so when did the shift start to take place? Like, you know what? Nah, this ain't for me.
So
what happened?
Of course, I was homeless at 17. That was my first time going to jail. And in Texas, you're an adult at 17. I started to see that, like, damn, okay, I'm going down the path. I got an older brother that go in and out, right? Watched it. I started seeing myself from 17 up into my 20s. I seen myself going in and out of jail. That's where all the mug shots came from that's on my social media. So I'm like, whoa, I'm about to be one of them. I got kids, of course. They started to change me. Things started to shift, and my entire family is drug addicts, felons, and just they out of there. My immediates, okay, that's mom, dad, brother, sisters, everybody. And I said, somebody got to change. I had a very inspirational grandfather that, you know, helped the family down, and he was a positive image, did 8 years in prison, and he also got out, changed his life, and did well for the family. I felt like I needed to step into that role, and I also, I was like, man, look, somebody got to do this in this family, and you know, I value myself, so I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna be that cycle breaker, right? I got an ebook on that as well, because I it's a lot of things that I watch my family do, and I was the runt, right?
Yeah,
so that means that I seen everything.
Yeah.
So and I didn't like it either. So we could talk about I grew up gangsterhood. I didn't like it. I did it, but I didn't like it.
You were born into that habitat, so
Correct.
you kind of you take the naturals that come with it. And you know, I can identify with what you're saying, because when you say that toxic environment, like, you know, my mom and stuff was in the penitentiary all the way up to she was 50 years old. You know, so you know, my dad, I never met him, so he wasn't there. You know what I mean? So I was kind of in the same type of environment. You know, what I guess you can say, you know, for African Americans is, you know, projects is what white people is trailer park, you know,
right.
for lack of a better example, right? Same toxic you know, in living in lack and type of environment. It's just, I guess it's what we call it. I guess it's just the culture, right? But living in that in a system of lack and just poor mindsets, you suffer from a lot, and you grow up thinking that low average living you should be grateful for, and it's kind of hard to break out of that cycle. And because when I started, you know, having kids and stuff in my early 20s, just like you said you did, it started to shift for me, because I remember those pains of dad never being at any sporting events, mom being in the penitentiary. So it was kind of like, yo, like when I had kids and you look at your own seeds and you're like, nah, I ain't doing that, because I know what that feel like. So I tell people a lot of times, you know, you can take those sufferings and turn them into success if you just have the right perspective. Correct. So that perspective, Marv was asking, like, you know, when did it start to shift for you? So I just kind of wanted to share how I can identify with that, so I know where you're coming from. But share a little bit more about where, you know, when it is like, you know what, nah.
So what I'll say before you share that is, the one thing I really love about this industry, man, is how forgiving it is, and how, you know, welcoming it is, because, you know, like both of y'all, we've traveled and had conversations with so many different people in this industry. And once you get to know somebody well enough, you come to learn they all got stories. Like we all got a story. So many of us have come from, you know, nothing. Right. So that's another one of those reasons why I truly love this industry, man, because you could be on just so many different paths that are going nowhere. And once it clicks for you and you get it right and you hop on this path, it could change your life in such, you know, a positive way. So I'm sure people in the comment section would say the same thing. How many of y'all in the comments got a story? You know, and it's like, damn, so many of us grew up around drugs and addiction and jail and violence and poverty, and, you know, people not really doing much aside from the bare minimum. And it's just dope when you get to know people in this industry and you see what they've been able to come from. So, you know, salute to both of y'all, and salute to everybody in the chat too that has come from nothing.
And for those very reasons, Marv, is why a lot of barbers are attracted to this profession.
Yeah.
Most of them come because they think they still can do the same things and get behind this chair and make a little bit of our money because they think this money is free. Right.
Unfortunately, I do agree.
Right. And that's where part of my passion comes from, because I know that this made me switch from how I was, and it made me a better man. Okay. And that's from my character on up. Right. And I had to, because I'm dealing with other people. And I also was able to use my story from behind the chair as well, you know. But when I made that shift and decided I'm gonna stop being a street pharmacist and I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, do something with myself. I had about two years where I was just a piece of crap, living off my baby mama at the time, just trying to be a rapper, selling drugs, just being a piece of crap at one point. And in that time, man, I had just got tired of being sick and tired, because I've always thought highly of myself in the wrong ways, because I was getting glorified for the wrong things. And at some point, man, I cut all my hair off, and man, I and that barber right there is the barber that told me, like, you should try barber school. I didn't want to work for nobody. I was either gonna go plumber, electrician, barber, something. So I went the barber route. It's crazy, man. I went to my first barber school downtown here in Houston, man, and I was still dressed like the hood. You know, I'm new, man. Don't you know, this guy treated me like crap, man. Like the owner of the school, man, he was just so cocky and so judgmental, right? He didn't welcome me into barbering at all, right? And I get it if you want me to change from where I'm at, but you don't judge me, because in my mind and my heart, I was ready to change.
Yeah.
And the way he treated me, man, it made me spiral back. So
I'm gonna speak a little bit more to that because I think it's a very good point, but I want to let you finish first.
I procrastinated after that. It sent me into a loop because I'm like, I'm trying to do right. And I wanted to rip the man's head off, but I'm like,
like, bro, I will break you. I will break you in half.
Like, don't take me back there, please. I'm trying to change.
And I made it up in my mind, like I'm like, man, I gotta change. And I went back, I spiraled back, start back smoking, start back hanging out, whatever. And an older cat I used to hang with, I'm smoking with him, and man, he was just like, look, you know, you smoke, you start to, your mind go over the place, you get to talk about what you're gonna do and what you're gonna do and what you, and he snapped out of being high. I don't know if that was God, I don't know what it was. And he was like, man, you need to go do it then. I'm sitting back like, hey, we supposed to be getting high and chilling. Why are you getting serious? He like, you need to go do it. I'm sick of you talking about it. And he said, you want to be like me?
He hit you with the Nike.
Yeah. He was like, you want to be like me? And me and him had the same amount of kids at the time, same amount of baby mamas at the time. He was just a lot older. And he was like, you want to end up like me? And I was like, I played that out. And I say, nah. And I went to Texas Barber College, and that whole thing was different then. I got introduced to barbering in a very, very professional way. And that's how I run my business to this day, because Mr. Pendleton, most people down here in Texas know about him.
Shout out to Mr. P.
Yeah,
Mr. P
man.
holding it down.
He sold barbering to me in a way. That's why I take it so serious to this day. And I let it change me, because it's gonna change you if you embrace it, right? And I let it change me along the way and just make me more of a better person and clean my life up, you know.
Love that.
You had a
Mr.
video.
J. He was the man that inspired me. Mr. J was nice with the clippers. He was the first one that was like the teacher of the school that was like nice with it. You know what I mean? Like in my experience at school. So when I was watching him cut, doing all the designs and stuff, he really lit the fire in me in barber school. Because prior to that, like it was barber school. But then once he became the teacher in the last semester, it was game over. What were we gonna say, Will?
Yeah. No, I was saying, Cole, you recently had a video up I watched that one of the things you said, it resonated with me very well. And I totally agree with it. And I want to get you to elaborate on it a little bit more. But you said, if you can't build your business starting out off of your family and friends, it's because you're a BS person. And that was very, very authentic. And it was very, very real, because most of the great barbers that I've met in my life, they've started in the basement, cutting their friends and family.
That is.
Even the hairstylists, they were doing their homegirls' hair in high school. Right. And that kind of infiltrated into college, and then they were cutting everybody in the dorms. And then all of a sudden, clientele picked up, word of mouth picked up, and they took on a life of their own. Right. And if you can't get people that you already have in your network to support you, it does say a lot about your character.
That's a fact.
And that is the first thing that a person should fix before they do anything. And it reminds me of some of the best advice I've ever gotten when I started as an entrepreneur. Right. Most barbers, they want to be entrepreneurs, right? They want to be their own boss and all that. We in it. I'm my own boss disease right now. Right. Because if you really knew what it takes to be your own boss, you do the inner work on yourself to become that. And one of my friends told me one time, he said, and this is he's my best friend to this day. He said, well, I have no doubt you'll be successful when you open up your first shop. And I said, why? He said, because your house is in order. He said, if you can't run your house, you can't run a business.
Right.
And he said, if your wife and your kids don't respect you, what make you think your peers at work are going to respect you? Yeah. And he said, if you don't have no respect from your team, and you don't have respect from the people who kind of want to respect you in your own house, there's no way you can manage an organization. But he said, your house is in order. I know your wife. I know your kids. I see how they respond to you. That tells me everything I need to know. So to this day, I still choose my friends based on how they treat their wife.
There you go.
Because if she'll lay down and give you some babies and you'll treat her any kind of way, you just waiting for an opportunity to treat me any kind of way.
You definitely don't care about me.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when you said that, I was like, yo, he's on one right there. So that's my perspective on it.
Yeah.
Please share yours.
You know, I talk all the time on my gram, and I tell them about being with one woman, right? I'll see a lot of comments. Guys still feel like being a player is cool. That's that high school stuff, right?
Real talk, real talk. So
how old are you, Cole?
I'm 36.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I'm 38. Yeah, 38.
So you know, when you got that one woman, you can handle your business a lot better, right? Especially when it's the right one. That's that structure you talking about, Will. And married men, I respect them. I was married before for 10 years. And you know, I know what that's like. And I'm a one woman's man. I like to have me one woman. I ain't with all that. You know, so
that's a teammate, man. You know, I used to tell people, I tell guys, you know, guys come sit in the chair all the time. And they don't talk that player stuff to me because I'm like, Ray, you's a kid, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a grown man chair. When you sit here, you got the man up. You know what I'm saying? And all of my friends are like that. And I tell people, like, it's Bible, but when a man has found a wife, he's found a good thing. But they forget what comes after the semicolon in that scripture. It says, and he earns favor from God. A lot of things in my life may not have made sense because I start before I'm ready. But because my foundation is in order and my structure is in order and my life is in principle order, a lot of the things I do, I go into with no fear because favor ain't fair and you can't explain it.
That's right.
It's an unwavering belief that allows me to open up a school, run multiple shops, have all the real estate and stuff, and operate with no debt. I graduated high school with a 1.3 GPA, never went to college. I never finished either barber school that I got my license from. I did 500 hours at one and 750 at the other, and they closed. I failed the test multiple times. Only books I've ever read is sitting on this bookshelf right here, right? But those all cost $15. I don't have no superior education, but I got tons of faith and my life is in order. Yeah. And when your life and your foundation and your structure is in order and you can invest in your wife, that's how I believe God speaks to me. And I study the word, but my wife, that's the sixth sense, man.
Yeah, I respect it. And that's what I mean by having the relationships in your life in order. I can tell. So if you come to me trying to build clientele and I say, you know, cut your family and friends. Oh man, it's hard, you know. Well,
they don't want to support me. They don't support me.
Right. And it's one thing, ain't nobody hating on you. It ain't that they don't want to support you. It ain't even that they can't suffer a little mess up on a haircut. What it is your character is messed up. They probably don't mess with you in the first place. Now all of a sudden you became a barber. Now you want them to come get a haircut because you want some damn money. Right. But you ain't been holding it down before that, right? I had hella homeboys.
That's a fact.
30 plus. I've always been popular. People always wanted to be cool because my leadership ability was in the gangs. It was in prison. It was and when I started
in a different vehicle now, but you had the same thing.
For sure.
Exactly. And even with the family piece, right? I was married when I first became a barber. Every one of her cousins, male and female. I was cutting them all on both sides of the family, right? Yeah. Right. And even my family, my friends. So look at all these people I already got. Yeah. See what I'm saying? On top of
with me, I had so many people coming to barber school. Correct. You know, nobody else has people coming in. I got all my homies and family coming in. I set up the spot in my crib because I knew that I could have my homies and my family come to my crib. You know, it was never an issue getting people.
I was on the neighborhood.
I love the fact you made that point because the way you said it and what you said just doesn't get said enough. You know, we'll say that, you know, you're going to have friends and family that don't support you because that is part of the process. Right. But it's never really been addressed, at least as far as I'm aware, through content. Somebody saying, you might just be being a piece of shit. And that's why people don't want to sit in your chair. And that's a very valid point, man.
Very valid. And they don't believe you. They don't believe you're serious.
Yeah.
You're just doing something for some money.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's why I tell people, whenever you're led by money, you're led down the wrong way anyway. Yeah. And people don't want to go there. As long as they'll tell you, oh yeah, let's get this money. But if it's money motivated, it ain't going to motivate very far. You're going to run out of gas before you know it. So when you said that, I was like, yo, this is cold-blooded accuracy right here. It was incredible. And I was like, yo, he's so right, because that's how it starts. You know,
why do you think you're so polarizing, bro? Because like, here's what I'll say, right? when I see your content, the vast majority of content that I could think of ever seeing from you, I'm like, he's speaking facts, right? When we had that conversation, remember that conversation we had in Atlanta when we were just standing outside of the room?
I think that was South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
The OG conference. Bro, imagine if that was filmed. Remember, we were snapping for a minute, right?
I was supposed to be there too.
Well, you would have been in this circle. It was fire, but you know, it was just so. There was just so much value in that conversation, right? And I'm sure Will agrees with me. The content he's seen from you, he thinks you're speaking facts most of the time. But then you'll have people that don't agree with you or don't like you, right? You say you're going live with Cole, and they're like, hopefully I can change my mind. I can't stand that dude.
Oh, I want to address that one.
You know, my question to you, bro, because I deal with it too. You know, there's people that act like they don't like me. I'm like, you just don't know me or you ain't listening, right? And Will's the same way. He deals with it too. So my question to you is, why do you feel like you're so polarizing?
Great question, Mom. I wanted to address that. I seen a guy say, he said, I hope Cole changed my mind with this one because at this point, blood gets on my nerve. I don't really like blood. Dude. Man, listen, first of all, it takes the same amount of energy to hate me as it does to love me. If you love me, just say you love me. I ain't into men, homie, but hey.
Bro, I love that one content piece you posted where the person commented like, this is why I unfollowed you. And you was like,
correct.
I would respect it if you wasn't still here, though. That was fire.
If you wasn't still here, because I think I'm so polarizing because I just come out and say it. Now there's a profile of a person that typically don't like me or my content off gate. Now, granted, I ain't here for everybody like me. I only want my people to follow me. And when I say my people, the people like y'all, people that's on what I'm on. Right? I don't care what race,
truth tellers.
Yeah.
Truth tellers. And you gotta know, you gotta take real game and you know, pick the meat from the bones, but you also, it don't matter how it's said, as long as you can get the game, right? Because that's how I came up, and that's exactly how I put it out. But there's a profile of a type of person. You know, you either fat because I talk about working out a lot, right? You probably smoke weed and you be high behind a chair.
Hey, this game, y'all, this game.
I be talking about being drug free all the time, right? Or you think you're some type of player or some type of rapper because I'm against mixing that stuff with being a barber, right? So,
true story.
So all three of those things, I can guarantee you, if you immediately don't like me for my content, it's probably I hit one of those triggers, and that's fine. But you're gonna keep coming back because the way social media work now, you don't have to follow me for my content to pop up. You just need to engage. So if you comment, if you stop and look at the video, if you swipe back on it, you're still watching, and it's gonna suggest my content to your page. Now, you know, I hopefully this content hit people, and I didn't even have people message me and say, "Hey, look, Cole, I ain't gonna lie. In the beginning, I didn't like what was said, but it needed to be said." I met people in person, some big old dudes too. Yeah. I thought I had to fight, you know. I'm down for a little 1-2, but I had big dudes come and say, "Hey, man, Cole, that content you made by being fat," and I'm like, "What's up? What about it?" He like, "Hey, Cole, man, I really need to hear that, man. I needed to hear that, man. Nobody ever been that real with me," and I'm like, okay, bet.
I had a girl, she commented on one of my posts and she said the same type of thing where she was like, after this, I'm unfollowing you, blah, blah, blah. And I was just in a comment back mood too. And I was just like, well, the best bet, honestly, is to block me because I'm still going to pop up in your feed. And then she don't know social media. So she's just like, no, I've unfollowed people before and they stop popping up. I'm like, well, you know, good luck. But again, I'm just trying to
more of something different.
Block me if you don't want to see it. You know?
But hey, you know what's so crazy, right? And this is why me and Marv, a lot of times we encourage people to tell the truth because there are people struggling who the truth may set them free. Yeah, it just people always filter everything because they don't want to hurt nobody's feelings.
Is this right here? Wisdom is polarizing in a world where fakeness is now worship. Cole just be saying facts. That's how I be feeling.
Well, yeah, that's how I look at it. When I see his stuff, and here's what's so crazy, Cole. When I first came across your content, it was on the Uber Professional, be a professional barber, and then it was nah, I'm gonna start calling these jokers out because I'm tired of all the excuses. When did that shift happen?
It happened once I started getting traction on social media. I realized something. Like, I didn't come here to be politically correct. I came here to tell it like I see it and call it like I see it. I started.
So did you almost feel like initially you were like trying to create too much of an image that's not necessarily you, and then you're like, you know what, forget all that.
Because I see people doing that. And I teach, you know, I travel around teaching my social media, how to grow the social media organically, being authentic.
Yeah.
So when I was growing, I had to notice once I made that shift, I don't know, my content just went crazy. And I said, oh, I could be me, huh?
Yeah, facts.
Oh, I can.
It's like that light bulb go on. It's like,
oh man. So
it gets so much easier at that point too.
People say, Cole, how you so comfortable on the camera? Because I be me. You should see me in the barber shop, man. Like, people call me crazy, but I'm gonna speak some real to you and try to, you know, change your life with what I say as well. But I'm gonna just be me, right? But that shift happened when I noticed. I'm like, look, I could just be me, and actually people are gonna gravitate towards it. Plus, social media not like it used to be. Right now, people can kind of see if you BS now, right? They done been through the loop of the fake influencers with the high side and the flashy stuff. They done been through that. Social media kind of knew now. If you scared to get on the camera and you scared to talk and just put your face out there and just call it like it is, people already know, right? We ain't just dealing with people our age. We dealing with some youngsters. And these youngsters look at social media a little bit different. They're gonna dig in your background. They can see.
They're fast with it too.
They'll very fast. They can see if you BS too. They can tell. They grew up with it. Like, we didn't have it and then we got it. This is all they know. So they can tell chicken crap from bull crap real quick.
Yeah, and you better come with receipts.
And you better come with the receipts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they question everything. I'm in school with them every day.
Yeah, he's right in the trenches. He got. I was just down in the school a couple of weeks ago. My man got all the young kids up in there. I'm like, bro, is in the trenches.
I got about 20-year-olds.
Yeah, and see,
you know, and what I was gonna say is, when you first went to barber school, right? Remember, I was going to come back to this point, and you was like, yo, because of the way you was dressed, like, homie, like, dogged you. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of made you relapse and go back.
Yeah.
Well, I had this conversation with my students, you know, and my instructors, and the biggest challenge I'm finding right now, right, is I got to teach the teachers, bro, because I tell myself now, like, a lot of people want to be educators, right? I don't go by that claim anymore of being an educator. I'm a communicator. Educators make things complex and complicated. Communicators simplify.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So I take complex information and make it simple. That's why when people see my videos, right, and you guys talked about haters and stuff, it'll be a hater in the comments like, this is so simple. Why do you even need to go to school for this? And it's like, yo, to a beginner who knows nothing, it's complex.
Correct.
Like, there was a day you didn't think that was simple, bro. Like, you done forgot already.
And I go over the most fundamental stuff, and I watch the light bulbs go on every single day.
And that's funny. To your point, Will. Yeah. Marv, you'll notice it when you post a video I made that said about barbers making six figures, right?
Yeah.
Every time, and this is I done posted that video over a couple times. I always go,
because it's gonna hit. You break it down really simple.
Really simple, right? We just tell you a little $40 a cut, 12 cuts a day, 5 days a week, make you six figures. What's the first comment gonna come? Well, what about taxes? What about expenses? What about this? What about that? What you're trying to do is make something so simple, complicated. Now, granted, yes, we got to file taxes. Yes, we got to pay expenses. That's part of the game. That's for your CPA, your financial advisor, and your financial plan in your city or state, which is different, but that makes it more complicated. So you can use that complication as a reason to not do it, because you're trying to make something that's broken down to you very simple, complicated. They listen to a lot of influencers that make things. I went to a show before. A barber got on stage and said,
"Here we go. This is where it gets good." I was probably at the show too.
He drew triangles and hexagons, and he was saying the flibula of the tribular dibula. I'm like, okay, well, we don't know what you're talking about barbering. We talking about building clientele or cutting some hair or something. And but he sounded very smart.
Yeah.
And then some people like, yeah, what they want you to shut up because they just gonna say they know what you're talking about.
That's the problem I have sometimes with people who call themselves educators and get up on stage. They want to go so deep and sound so sophisticated, they lose the entire crowd.
There you go. Yep.
And all it does is stroke their own ego, and they walk off stage like, I killed that. And it's like, no, bro. I'm dumber than when I came in the room.
Right.
The other thing too about your content piece that I explained to somebody probably yesterday, I think it was, because they replied to it when I posted in the story, and they're like, he's not accounting for taxes and expenses. And I said, bro, and I didn't always understand this, right? So I try to speak in a nice way. I didn't say it quite like this, but it's like, bro, it's short form content. There's only so much you can say in a 60-second frame to hold people's attention. He knows that. But this content piece specifically was about how to make 6 figures as a barber. That's what that content piece was for. If you follow his page more, you'll hear him talk about various topics.
The next post is how you avoid taxes.
What do you say?
Right. The next post is how you legally can avoid taxes.
Yeah, but it's like people want you to say everything, cover every example. They want you to cover every type of barber at every level, every little piece in it's little simple.
Well, we're in the age of this. We're in the age of being over-informed and underperformed, right? So a lot of people
barbers.
A lot of people like to get online and say, I'm doing something because I'm watching this video. Like even the barbers that's tapped in here, I love that they're here, but don't just be here and just say, man, I'm learning because I'm sitting watching Will Marvin Cole on the podcast. No, listen, I need you to take what we're saying, because everybody in here got game that you can use. Take it and start applying it immediately, right? Just learning is not a skill, right? Just learning is not action either, right? I'd rather you take action and don't know a damn thing than get all this information and you just sitting on your behind, ain't doing nothing with it, right?
So ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice.
Yeah, what is it they say? We're addicted to education and allergic to execution.
That is. That is.
Sure. Yeah, addicted to information, allergic to implementation. Don't nobody want to implement nothing. And you know, it's one thing, you know, I always pride myself on is application. Like I could call Marvin, he can tell me to do something, and I'm like, I'll do it right away. And be like, yo, like this, because I have to apply what I learn immediately. I was taught a long time ago when I used to go to conferences and be trying to invest in my own education. They said it's called the law of diminishing return. It says when you learn something, if you don't apply it or implement it within the first 72 hours of learning it, the greater the chances are you'll never do it.
Damn.
So when you coach somebody or you teach somebody something, if they don't come back with a tangible proof of result or action taken within 72 hours, they ain't gonna do it.
Damn.
Because you have to put in work when the emotion and the feeling is high. You know, when somebody you hear a gem on here tonight or something and you're lit, you're like, yeah, you're all lit in the chat. If you don't do nothing with it within the next 48 hours, it's gone.
Yeah. And then another thing with that too,
while it's hot.
Another thing with that too is that's why I don't be really going back and forth in the DMs with people no more on that, like pick my brain, asking questions stuff. It takes the most minimal effort to ask me a question when it's like, bro, you could, a better action would be for you to go on YouTube and type in that same exact thing, but you coming to me for it, right? And it's like you get to the point where you only want to even share information at times with people who are serious, right? That's why it's like if Will's asking questions about anything, I'm like, all right, here's how you do it, because he's gonna implement it. Not to throw shade at my young cousin. I hope he's watching. He probably ain't, because he probably slacking. My young cousin that works with me, but a couple weeks ago, he's asking me how to show him how to do a video and stuff. And he's my cousin, so I talk to him crazy. You know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, I'm showing you all this, but you're not gonna do nothing with it. It makes me not even want to show you. You're not gonna do nothing with it. But he's like, nah, I got it. So I showed him. He ain't do nothing with it. And then bro want to hit me up today. Yo, I got a question about it's like, bro, Nah, you got to apply it, because knowing all this stuff does not matter. You got to apply it. You asking people questions. You trying to find all this information just to know a lot. It's not about knowing a lot. It's about doing a lot. That's what's going to make the difference.
And it's easy to ask, but it's harder to try.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to ask.
It
and that's
gives
why
a lot
when people ask me all the time, they're like, Will, man, I would love to be, could you mentor me this and this and that? And I said, if you want mentorship from me, come work in one of my businesses. You get it for free. And not only do you get to talk to me, but you get to see me live out exactly what I'm going to tell you, so you know it's real.
Yeah.
I can tell you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
But
you're gonna be like, do I really got to get up that early? Do people come in the barbershop that early? I made my entire business at 6 o'clock in the morning. I have theory at barber school at 8 a.m. Most barber schools don't open up till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
We have theory at 8 a.m. So it's like, I don't play that game. If you want to run with me, we're gonna get up early, we're gonna get it on, and the day over at 3 o'clock.
That's right.
And then we go do what we want to do, and it's just, but you got to get to it. It's so funny. We were talking about, taking things that you already have and implementing it, and I'm writing a book now, and I just had my first meeting on Monday with my editor and publisher. I'm writing my first book. We had the meeting at 6 a.m. because they said, Will, what time do you have free? And I said, well, I get up at 5 a.m. every day. 6 o'clock, my thoughts will be flowing. I'll be well rested. And that's when we need to discuss writing a book. If you try to talk to me at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I done taught theory a couple of times. I done solve, problems, put out fires all day. I'm mentally fatigued. You're not going to get my best thoughts at that time of day unless I take a nap or something. So I make sure if it's a priority for me, it gets done at 6 o'clock in the morning before class start at 8. But that's how I get it on. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to do that. But I'm like, if you ask me for some advice, you get one question. If you don't come back with a tangible proof of a result or an action taken, you don't get no more. That's it.
So Cole, what's one piece of unfiltered advice you have for a beginner barber tuning in right now? Unfiltered, raw, straight to the point, straight to the chaser. What do you got for him?
Just coming in the game, pump the brakes. Right.
There we go.
Be prepared to go through a process, right? Before you can build clientele, you got to build yourself. And it may sound cliche, but it's the facts. You might not like it, but it's the facts. Take your eyes off the prize and turn your eyes to inside. Start building yourself up first, right? That celebrity barber stuff, dead.
When they hear that though, they're thinking like, all right, bet I'm gonna level up. Right now, they feeling like this is the message I need to hear. But how would they start? Is there certain books you would tell them to read, or podcasts to listen to, or things to do?
Marv, everybody can't read. 60-some% of the population can't read. No, real facts. This is facts.
We got Audible now, though. They ain't got no shoes no more. We got Audible now.
I say just take action, man. Just start taking action, man. Because I would never push someone to do a bunch of studying and all of that. Granted, I even got ebooks that's for sale, but that's for people that want that type of education, right?
Yeah.
But you gotta just do it. Being a barber is about just doing it. Being a barber means being slow. Being a barber means eating shit for a while. All right. Being a barber means you not
less.
That's right. Being a barber don't mean jump in the game and
you're supposed to know your worth, though, Cole. Know your worth, right? Ain't that it?
No,
know your worth.
I don't believe in know your worth, Mark.
I can't stand know your worth.
I can't stand it either. I hate it.
Know your worth.
You don't know your worth. Don't know your worth, because that's a bullseye phrase that people throw around to make you think you need to raise your price to $100 when you start.
Yeah, it's a hollow phrase, bro.
You ain't worth nothing when you start. You're lucky to get that 40. You ain't worth nothing when you start. You don't know your worth. See what you want, and what you want to have, and then you got to work your way up to that, right? You don't come in knowing your worth, because if you let that be said, everybody think they just worth $100 off gate.
If you think barbers are out of touch with what clients actually want?
Exactly.
I do. I seriously do.
Yeah, but that's not the game now. People want to come in and have followers like us. People want to come in and have all the recognition. They want to be glorified. They want to be, in the limelight. As soon as they start, they want to be lit straight to the stages and teach people nothing because they don't know a goddamn thing. Will got gray hair right here. I got one or two in here. I don't know what you got, Marv. I don't know. What
I got a lot under this hat. A lot under this hat.
So we ain't just walk up and get this.
Yeah,
right.
You got 80,000 followers. It ain't gonna show on here, right? You guys can look it up. Yeah. And he has the number that you guys are gonna overlook is he has 4,181 posts. 4,181 posts, and I'm sure he's archived a lot. I'm sure he's deleted a lot. Absolutely. So if the number's higher than that, same thing with me. You go to my page, I have 3,676 posts. Probably double that because I be posting and deleting and archiving all the damn time. So when you see these big following numbers, you guys think it just happened overnight. Nah, we don't put in time creating this content. It's the same thing like you were saying with the barbering. You want to build up this clientele and get to that 40, 50, 60, $100 price point. Sure, you can be that anomaly guy that does it right out the gate, but it's not probable, bro. You gotta put your reps in, man. You gotta do the work.
I tell barbers all the time, right? They come in and they're like, yo, I want to do this and I want to do that. I said, listen, don't do nothing until you make 6 figures from your mat.
Yeah, it is. I like that.
On that mat. If you can't stand there and make 6 figures, don't think about nothing else. You do not need an ebook. You don't need an online course. You don't need, t-shirts for sale or smocks or hats and jerseys and CDs, and you don't need none of that, man. Like, keep the main thing, max that out, and then the next opportunity will present itself. When I tell my students this all the time, when they talk about, well, how should I do this? And I'm like, listen, man, you know what creates opportunity? It's called margin. You build margin in your life by being a good steward of the resources you already have. You have an opportunity behind the chair. Work that well. Stack your chips up. Be disciplined with your money. Build a clientele. Create some margin in your life. You may live off of 40,000 and you make 6 figures. Now you got $60,000 you can play with. When you have margin in your life, your margin is your magnet for opportunities. Most people can't see real opportunity because they have no margin. Right? You need to go take advantage of an opportunity, but you ain't got the time. No margin. You would like to be able to buy this shop that came available, but you ain't got no money, no margin. Go get behind that chair and build margin in your life. Then opportunities will be chasing you down. You know what I'm saying? People always looking for the next big hit. It ain't no such thing. You can't chase. I told a student this the other day, and they were like, man, I'm just, chasing this and this and that. I said, listen, anything you chased in your life, it ran from you. Winners know you attract success. You can't chase it down. That paper chasing, bag chasing, this and this and that. Anytime you chase, you end up tired and out of breath and burnt out. People who burn out are chasing the wrong thing. People who are winning attract all the opportunities in their life.
Cole, I forgot to ask you beforehand, just so I'm clear. How much time do you have? We normally go for like 2 hours. How much time do you personally have?
That's cool. Yeah, I'm done up here for the day.
Okay.
So I hit the gym in a second, but I got time.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Because I wasn't sure if you were expecting like hours.
Nah, this barbering, man, I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I see. Here's one thing I'll say too, right? Me and Will got yelled at a bunch of times. I got yelled at a bunch of times because there was a time when we were going in on social media. I was going in on social media talking about suites. Right. And people always say, get somebody. Why don't you get somebody on the Gym Talk that's been successful with the suite step? Right. So I feel like we have somebody tonight. So y'all better show some love and give me some damn credit because we have somebody that's in a suite. You're still in a suite, right?
Yeah, I am.
In a suite, and he's been successful with it. You know what I'm saying? So how did that come about? Were you in a shop for a little bit and then transitioned? And what led to the transition?
I've been in the shops before I went to prison. I was in the shop a little 6 months before I went, and after I got out, I got into a shop, and I was in that shop for about maybe 7.5 years. Yeah, I'm not the barber to jump around. I don't believe in that. I don't care how ghetto the shop is. I'm gonna make my mark, and I'm a make some of myself there.
That's a leader.
Yeah,
love that.
That's a leader.
I appreciate it.
First lesson I ever learned was a barber that move a lot loses a lot.
Yes.
First thing I ever learned.
And so we, during the pandemic, we had a time where we went into where they shut us down for like 2 months straight. And during this time, man, I had a bunch of bread stacked up, so I was cool. I was like, my mind was free. I was able to work out more, do things I like more, read more, and all that. So I got back clear on my goals. For 7.5 years coming out of prison, I hit the ground running as far as the barbering. And man, I had kind of lost track of my next level, right? I always write my goals down, but I lost track of the next level because I got caught up grinding behind the chair. Because you can get caught up like that, just grinding. But anyway, that little time we had on lockup, I was able to sit back, get clear with my goals. I'm like, okay, where was I going with this again? And if you notice, that's when my content started popping out more, all of that. So then I went, when they let us back in the shop, man, I walked back in that door, man. I feel like, damn, man, it's time for me to go because I've outgrew the place. I'm charging more than everybody in here. I'm the main barber here, not to flex or nothing, but I started to kind of like, I outgrew the place. My clientele was different from what the shop was. I'm cutting the lawyers, the doctors, and all these different people. And I'm like, man, it's time to move around. So I was like, I'm gonna go in the barber suite. That was my goal in the first place. I went back to my notes. I seen that I had to go, bought the suite, didn't get in the suite for 3 months straight, paying the rent for the suite and everything. Didn't even get in it for 3 months, scared. Right? Scared. But my little brother was like, dude, you got, and at the time I didn't have at least 700 and some people that didn't booked with me, right? With like 300 and something in rotation. You know how it go. So I was like, my little brother, like, man, we started this suite together. He was like, man, I'm finna get my stuff and I'm going to the suite. I don't know what you gonna do, but I'm finna go. He's like, man, you got everything, bro. You can go. Ain't nobody gonna leave you or nothing like that, So I took the leap, came on into the suite, got it decked out and everything, came on into the suite. Me and my brother, the business we was doing went bad. He went back to the streets, had to reconstruct the business, turn it back to my brand because I had switched the brand. Got it back into cold cuts and just been rocking and rolling ever since. And this environment supports the type of clients I have: police officers, firemen, attorneys, et cetera, et cetera. I do miss shooting the shit and talking noise in the shop, but I did that for so long and was a main character edit that I'm like, look, the games is over, the plan is over. It's time to go to the next level. And then my potential kind of opened up in the suite. And I don't suggest this for everybody, all barbers, because some barbers' best position is in somebody else's shop behind a chair for your entire career. There's some barbers, that's their best position to be in. But the type of person I am and the personality I have, as far as I leadership or just being very I like to set goals and I like to go after. I don't like nothing in my way, and I like to just go. And this was somewhere I needed to be. But then I opened up the other avenues of income, the ebooks, the speaking engagements, all the social media platforms pay me, all these different things I started doing. And that happened because I got into the suite and I was afraid to fail. I just started turning up, like doing everything, and I ended up, growing the following and opening up all these other opportunities for myself. But the sweet life ain't so sweet for all barbers. I've watched barbers. I've been in this building 3.5 years. Okay. In 3.5 years, you know how many barbers I watch open and close suites?
Oh my
At
God.
least 80% of them.
That's right. Correct. And it's like, I'll even try to give them game because every time a new barber come, I go meet them, shake. Most of them I already know who I am. We go in, I tell them, but they're so arrogant, they're so naive and just don't want to listen, prideful and right. And I watched a lot of them close, and I'm just the OG that just sit back and when that equipment get locked in that suite because you can't pay that rent, the owner's gonna call me because I'm the OG and they cool with me. We got a good relationship. They're gonna say, Cole, we give you anything for the low, and I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna buy it from them for the pennies on the dollar, you know. But I see them come in and they trying to rush to these suites because it's a thing, like it's popular, right? But ain't no sign that say barbershop outside that says there's a barber inside. It don't say that here, right? If you haven't built a reputation and a name for yourself, which I did before I got to this suite, people already knew me. I was 90% booked all the time for several years before I even thought about going to a suite, right? And this was for me, but all barbers are not built for this because coming into the suite, of course, you got to do your LLC, you got to get your mini shop license, your EIN, start building a business, credit, et cetera, paying taxes.
Wait, you mean you just don't go in and post on social media and then everybody floods the suite? It don't work that way.
It don't work that way because
so I thought it worked.
And a lot of people think that too, man. I'm in a suite now, and then it runs them dry because don't nobody know who the hell you are, really, right? Your little couple of homeboys, that was cool, but they suite rent is a little bit higher, homeboy, right? You running a business now, right? And things change when you get inside the suite to where it's a lot of responsibility. This ain't for everybody. Some people just need to stay inside of a shop, and that's fine. It doesn't make you less of a barber because you work inside of someone's shop. Right? You don't gotta have that. One of my best friends, man, he's a barber as well, working the shop that I was in. He's still out now. He was just real. It was like, man, look, I'm not ready for that. And I was like, cool. Because I would have brought him because he's a hell of a cutter. He gonna get behind that chair top of the morning, stay late at night. He one of them. But he likes to be a number two. And that's okay. He likes to work inside of someone's shop. And that's okay because he happy with that. He drive the car he want to drive. He make the money he want to make, right? He take care of his family and do the things he want to do his way. And that's fine. And I respect him for that. What I don't respect is a barber that's in someone's shop and you complaining. I don't You know what I mean?
Speak to it. Go ahead. You preaching right now. Go ahead,
bro. Drop some gems.
I'm anti. You know, I'm
going in. He's tapping into that frequency.
It's so crazy because I'm anti-sweet because you know the things you just mentioned. Now, for you and what you've done, you're a part of the 10% of actually the people who make it. The 80% not going to, but I'm sure you'll speak to it here in a second. All of the disciplines it take to build in a suite. You were 90% booked before you left. Most barbers leave when they 50% booked and they think going to a suite, they're gonna raise their price and make more money.
It's straight out of barber school, bro.
You know what I mean? Or they think social media back in the day when people was running to that social media, when you was posting pictures and little videos and cutting videos, it was working. Instagram changed the algorithm every 3-4 months, like the season.
Yeah, it don't
right. And then you got to readapt and readjust, and it's a workload to be a one-man show. And if you weren't doing all of the other things like the ebooks and the classes and the speaking engagements and the leadership skills and all that, you probably wouldn't stay in the suite because it's capped.
Correct.
Okay. And that's all I've been saying for years is it's like one chair is limited because there's only so much time in a day. And when you understand the power of leverage, which you do clearly, you got 6 ebooks, speaking engagements, you have way more skill sets than just the chair. And the chair been booked. You might have raised your price since you've been in the suite $5-10 over the last 3.5 years, right? True or false?
Yeah, you're right. Shit, I went up $30
since in 3 years.
In 3 years,
about $10 a year, right?
Yeah, correct.
Right, about $10 a year, which me and Marv preach every single chance we get. Get booked. You were 90% booked and raise your price $5 to $10 every year. It's the easiest, simplest formula there is, whether in a shop or in a suite. But like I said, you've leveraged your time and your other skills. The average barber just doesn't possess that ability when they make the move.
Correct.
And I agree with this comment too. This is my homie right here, Soldier Boy Life. I feel like being in a suite works better for content creators. I do understand that perspective as well. I mean, you can be a content creator in a barbershop too, right? But I do understand that privacy aspect. You don't got to worry about everybody else messing with you when you're trying to make content, or the noise, or, you know, it just might be awkward making content in front of people. So I do understand that perspective. And even when I was posting the stuff about suites on my page, you know, people, it's short form content, right? So you take what you see and you think that's all I think, without all the additional context. And it's obviously you can be successful in a suite. I know a ton of successful suite owners, and I do think it is a great fit for the right type of person who's wired a certain way and who has certain goals. But the issues I've always had with it was, like you were saying earlier, this type of barber that it attracts, that like arrogant, think you're just going to be able to walk in, charge $100 straight out the gate, treat people however you want. It's just going to be handed to you type of energy. And it's like that more than anything is where I'm just like, yo, y'all are tripping.
The truth is, a lot of barbers, especially the newer ones and the younger barbers, and because their social skills are kind of poor because of they grew up on social media and
comfortable with the screen.
Correct. You've been gaming, you've been in the house, you ain't been outside. Your social skills are probably poor. You're an introvert. You can't come in this suite with that hoodie on and the headphones, trying to cut hair all quiet and think because you give a good taper that somebody just supposed to come back, right? You got a lot of responsibility on you. If you don't understand, if you don't have good client retention, then you don't need to be in no suite. I'm gonna tell you that.
You better not.
Because if you want to be in a suite, you got to have good client retention. You got to know how to make people want to come back from the entire experience, right? I know barbers with suites, they ain't putting no paint on the wall. They just put a little chair up in there and you just cutting in there. You just there. You ain't, what's the ambiance, right? And then you got barbers, you playing rap music, you banging all this. And granted, ain't nothing wrong with a little hip hop, but brother, you in a suite, your prices are different. People that can pay that, they don't want to hear that, right? They don't want to hear that all the time, right? And you got to know how to deal with people. And now you ain't got the other barber support. You in that suite, you met somebody half, they're gonna kick your ass in that suite. So you ain't got the other barbers to help you now. You ain't got another barber to step in and handle your situation for you. Most shop owners know how to handle situations. That's why
I've done it plenty of times. I've done it plenty of times.
Now, if that same barber in a suite, dude, if you don't know how to got customer relations, bruh, you don't know how to solve conflict. You don't know how to solve a problem when you mess up or whatever it may be. You don't know how to solve none of that. If you ain't good with people, don't come run your butt to this suite. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. And you don't just need to be good, you need to be known by people as well.
So I think that's a misconception. Like hearing you say that, it's making me think about the idea that so many people say they want to go to suites because they're just tired of people. They don't want to deal with other people. That's why they go to the suite. And what I'm hearing from you is your people skills better be right when it's just you in one other person.
It actually go up. I'm gonna be real, and y'all probably see this in the shops. There's a barber whose clientele is still coming to him or her because of the other barbers, right? It ain't, they don't even know how to talk to them. It's the other barbers talking to the clients, right? It's the other barbers keeping the client coming. It's that shop name on that window that's keeping the clients coming to that shop, right? And if they was to leave, they couldn't maintain none of that. They couldn't maintain none of that because they probably not disciplined in the first place, right? And
I experienced that firsthand at my third and newest shop. When I went to open up the school, the clientele at my third shop fell completely off. I basically propped up 3 shops off of my own people skills. People come to my shop because of the brand I built and the people I hired. They trusted that I was going to make sure they was going to do a good job. And I had a certain standard and expectation when I was there. When I left to go open up the school, it was a huge sacrifice. I believed in the people that were there that they could handle it. And they fumbled the bag. When they fumbled the bag because of the headphones, the inconsistency in work schedule, the not talking to the clients, not building relationships, wanting to charge what they charge on Instagram. I need more money. Inflation is high. And taking too long because you're trying to do all this extra services that the client may not want. because you trying to justify your price point. They
Mm-hmm.
stopped coming and they were calling me. When I came back, I had that interview with everybody and was like, yo, what's the issue? Everybody said, we need more traffic. I'm like, I left this barbershop booked, all 10 seats full. I come back, everybody is still here and everybody's complaining. We're going to change the system because I can't be here no more. I'm at the school now. You know what I'm saying? I can't be here 3, 4, 5 days a week. I can't babysit. And so many of them people got upset because when I left, they fell off because they were living off of the operation I built. And when I wasn't there being the main character on the team, you know what I'm saying? Having people, I'm sitting people in other people's chair because people just, they rock with my vibe. And the same thing has happened to the school. Now those same people that they lost, they bring their kids to get an $8 haircut.
See?
They used to pay $40 for kids because it was me. Now I'm in another building. Now they come pay $8
because it's not the price they want. What
the
you,
price. It's
you
the
bring.
relationships that I've built. I've always told people relationships are the key to customer retention.
Yes, it
right?
is.
It's very rare that I ask a friend for something and I don't get it immediately. They have a hard time telling me no.
Don't ask me nothing
Because of the credibility and all that stuff. It's just like, yo, it's like, look, bet whatever you need, we got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I create a foundation, I build a board. I didn't even pick anybody. My friends picked themselves. Now we on this, we got you. You know what I'm saying? So those people skills are why I can go from business and business and business and business, and people are going to support. And I tell people all the time, one thing you said earlier, and it's the first time I really heard it, and it's refreshing. But you talked about leadership skills. People ask me to come to shows all the time and be a judge or this and this and that. And I tell them, I don't want to come unless I'm training on leadership.
That is.
I don't want to, teach fundamental barbers. If you want that, come to the Pro Fresh Academy.
Preach.
But I want to teach people how to become better leaders because then we can make our industry better because we can take people with us by lifting them up. So many people want to lead from the front because they think they make so much money. The leader is glad. You have to put everybody else's needs in front of your own.
This Cali Mac, right? And what I will say is, I'm not sure if Cali Mac follows me or not because he got mad at me a few times for different posts, right? So there's some posts where he'd be mad at me disagreeing, other posts he agree. And I think this is who left that comment on the video.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's just cool because there's been so many times. I know you've had this moment. I've had it too, where it's just like, if you think that you don't agree with me or you don't like me, you're probably missing some context, or you're probably really not listening because you don't like my tone, or you don't like the word choice I used, or you're not trying to see it from my perspective, or like from your perspective with additional context. So that's why I love when we get to do these gem talks, because now it ain't just a 30-second clip, 60-second clip. Now it's a 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Well, now there's more added context. So after that, a lot of times it's like, okay, now it makes sense. Now I get it. Even if they're not my preferred person to go to, I get it. I've had people come at me this year at CT, said, I disagree with about 80% of what you say. They told me, but I love what you do. I rock with you. I follow you. And in my mind, I wanted to ask them, like, what 80%?
Yeah, that's a big percentage.
He said 8, Marv. He said 8. He said 8.
He might have said 8. I heard 80, but all in all, I just say it's cool, man. It's cool because Cali Mac.
I'll say this too.
No, he was just like, I can't stand dude or whatever he said on comment section. Shout out to Cali Mac.
A lot of times, and this, not referring to the comment you just put up, but a lot of times people, when they respond negatively, is you struck a nerve, right? Because it's something that they believed in so hard. And you really went against that, and you probably were right, and they weren't mature enough to analyze it and admit it yet. And then they come back and say, you know what? I get it now. You know what I'm saying? We've all been there. It's part of being in your youth. You have strong opinions. I had strong opinions even when it came to the commission.
I've been that guy that's gotten. Somebody says something, and in the minute it don't hit me right. Now I'm like tuned out for a minute because now I think I disagree, and I'm trying to formulate my counter, and it's like, bro, just relax and listen. You're wild. Listen, Mark.
Yeah, you got to get context, and then sometimes you get that short form content on social media, and boom, it's a trigger, and you're like, yo, man, F that dude. And it's like you don't even know him for real, but it's a natural, immature reaction.
Right.
And maturity and immaturity is not age.
Yo, Cole, how do you deal with
evaluating from experience?
That like what would be classified as hate or negativity online that comes your way? How do you go through all of that and deal with it? What's your process?
I pin some of them to the top. I'm a comeback king. At first,
you like to argue, right? Like you argue all day because you believe in what you say. So you're willing to argue with somebody all day.
So when I first came to social media, I started getting all those comments, and I seen negative ones. I was ready to fight, But,
I remember you started the one video like, before I say anything, just know I can fight in real life. Right. It had me crying, bro.
But I had to say, you know what, man, that's because I didn't know how to control social media at first.
Yeah.
And then when I got used to it, I was like, all right. So you just got to come back. I look at how other big celebrities and stuff handle certain comments, and I'm like, okay, just have a little comeback or whatever. But I'll pin some to the top. And also, if I don't strike no nerves, right? If I don't shake a little, rattle a little feathers, right? Then I'm doing something wrong. I ain't here to be liked. I'm here to say what needs to be said. And like Will said, like, when people hear it, it's so unfamiliar sometimes because nobody never told them this. Your immediate reaction is to it's gonna be negative, right?
Defense.
Yes. And that means I struck another. My pops, he wasn't around much, but he told me one thing. He said, man, say what needs to be said, and when you walk away, they're gonna think about it. They may not like it, but when they walk away, they're gonna think about it. Right, just say what needs to be said and just keep it silent, and that's something that I do, right? And I get it, I know it. Look, I shoot my content, right?
You get annoyed with yourself. I know.
I know what pieces are gonna rattle, shake some feathers and rattle some feathers. I already know what pieces gonna, and that's what I'm gonna put out, right? And then I could come out and say something a certain way, and it's a punchline. Y'all know how it goes. It's social media. And then boom, at the end of it, I'm giving you the game. Yeah. But if you go off of my first words and they hit you, like you said, Marvin, you're gonna be tuned out. You ain't even gonna want to hear it no more. But I just deal with I pin them to the top. I let them get it out. That's what we here for. Hell, I done got millions of views because of that. When I do the Chili Bowl videos, that's exactly what's happening. I had the guys that actually did the cuts come on a video and argue in about 30 comments. Boy, you just made the video go more viral. Yeah, and I ain't responding no more. The people gonna do it.
Yeah, I love when like I'm at school and I'm teaching and I just tell one of the students like, hey, grab a phone and record this, right? Organically as possible. I like when I missay a word or I mess up.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen often, right? Because I'm teaching the same stuff every day, right? But when I do,
that light flex, he said it don't happen often. I'm one take drink.
When I do though, right? And people go in the comments and they get on this like gotta be perfect and gotta correct everything. Oh, I enjoy it. And I just sit back. I'm like, look, they're going crazy. They're going crazy. I show my students like, look, we're going viral. They're going crazy. They're going crazy because I said a number 2 instead of a number 1.
Social media is definitely a learning curve, and it's something that I've done my best to try to include into some of the mentorship I do, because when it's you almost forget what it was like when you were new to it, right? So nowadays the comments and stuff, they for the most part don't affect me at all, unless like Will said earlier, some days you're a little more tired than others, you're not feeling well, or you got time that day, and then it could be different. But for the most part, it really doesn't matter, but it wasn't always like that. Right. And other people are wired differently, right? So I always try to give them the perspective of just looking at social media like it's a video game, because that's how I do. I look at it like it's my video game that I play. And if I was playing a video game and the characters in the game were talking reckless to me, I probably wouldn't care, because it's just a video game.
It's part of the game.
Yeah, and then on top of that, what really opened my eyes was there was one time when I first went to TikTok. Are you on TikTok? Do you do TikTok like that or not?
Yeah, I am. I got about 72K on there.
Oh, you growing. So when I first went on TikTok, some of the content I was putting out over there, bro, the comments were ripping me apart.
Oh, they ghetto on TikTok.
Ripping me apart, right?
TikTok ain't for the week,
right? So
it's not for the week.
No, it's not, right? But here's what you learn, because all the people ripping you apart, they never have a profile picture, no private pages, they never have any posts, right? So initially coming from Instagram, I'm thinking like, all right, it's just somebody hiding behind a no profile, hiding behind a little fake profile, and just wanting it to, they're miserable, so they're taking it out on me. But then what I come to learn was a lot of those pages are young kids. And the reason they don't have profile pictures is because you got to be 13 and up to be on TikTok. So if you're on there 10, 9, 11, you'll get your page deleted, right? So so what I learned, and my daughters taught me this, because they had some of these little accounts. They had, they're girls, how girls get, they had some of these little accounts. So I learned from them. I'm like, oh, so this is what it is. So a lot of times you'll find yourself on TikTok going back and forth with somebody, and you're like, yeah, that's why you got no profile pic. It's a little kid, bro. Yeah. So that helps me out a lot too.
That explains a lot more.
Instagram now too.
That explains a lot about some of the responses I get, and I'm like, this dude want to argue like hey, they got
all the time in the world. Them young kids, bro, to argue with you all day.
Yeah. Oh, and they'll be at the lunch table with all their friends, like, yo, what I'm about to say now.
Especially if you got a bigger page too, right? Because now it's like you got 70K and you arguing.
They about to get lit.
I feel like you somebody. So, but that helped me. So anybody tapping in, listening, you will get full-grown adult people who are miserable with their life that will spew negativity and hate at you on social media. But a lot of times, it's just gonna be some younger kids, right? And even if it's not the younger kids, just understand some of these people might be going through something, bro. Like, hurt people try to hurt people. Ain't nobody happy in the comment section trying to make you feel terrible about yourself. That's not what happy people do. So just keep that in mind as you guys are building and you start to deal with some pushback or what you would consider hate, and as time goes, I feel like it gets easier. You feel like it's gotten easier for you to deal with?
Yeah, it gets much easier, man. I mean, it's part of the process. Go look on the Rock or Kevin Hart's comments. If you think you get some hate, go look at their comments and you like, oh, this light what they doing over here. It's light, bro. We don't deal with light. Yeah, so
super light.
But it's all good though. Those people, they own social media. They come here for that, and it don't bother me no more. I actually, I aim for it. I reach for it. Please.
Yeah. Sometimes when I get them, I'll respond back. I'm like, well, let me dry this engagement up real quick.
There you go.
You think it's important to be on social media as a barber?
Absolutely. If you got something to teach or something to expose someone too. And I like how Will said it. And I hate the term educator. And my girl,
I think we retiring that one too.
Yeah, because they like, Cole, you a barber, educator. I'm like, look, I'm a experienced barber exposing other barbers to what I know. That's it. Because an educator, it goes off a structure or a system. I'm not with that. I know what I know, and I'm exposing other people to that. But if you don't have any knowledge to give, you don't have, any value to give. I mean, being on social media should just be your portfolio. You putting your pictures up there. You let people know you active and alive because
very good point.
Because I ain't gonna lie. If you're not on social media at all, it doesn't mean you can't have a successful barber career. Because I know barbers ain't got one haircut on their page. Actually, my homeboy, he just went viral on my page because he just got online and said something. He ain't even got no cut or nothing, but he went viral because he passionate about barbering. He just did that, and I posted out the blue. He went viral on my page. But if you check his page, he don't even got a lot of followers. I don't even think he got 1,000 followers. He don't post haircuts, none of that. But he booked 100% in real life. I know him. Yeah. He one of them barbers.
My ace, my man Caddy, he's in my Smyrna store, 6 a.m. to 2. He took over the schedule that I ran all the time, and he booked. He worked Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. So,
but I'll say this, every 30 minutes.
If your clientele base is youth, more younger people, of course you should use social media as your portfolio. But we don't got that book no more. The binder that we
the portfolio. The portfolio. Yeah, I can't wait till they update these barber textbooks too, man.
Yeah.
I
So
be looking at some of the content I got to teach. I'll be like, man, we not talking about this today.
It's
we
so
not- that's
outdated.
right. It's social media
10 years
now.
old. They got to update that, man. Real talk,
Yeah.
man. I might need to write my own textbook. But
So if you use it for that, and if you got something to educate someone on, or whether expose people to your knowledge, or you got some value to give other people, put it on your social media now. We are not just barbers, okay?
mm-hmm.
Your value don't just come because you can give a good taper or a good fade, right? Your value comes from your from your personal experiences in your life experiences. We know what people really come to us for when they come in that chair. We know that. We know that people value us for who we are, what we've been through, the knowledge we have, et cetera, et cetera. If what you have to offer is beyond barbering, but you are a barber and that's your profession, you can expose people to that as well. But you must also identify as a barber as well, and it actually will attract more people that's just like you to your chair. That's really the ultimate clientele building tactic when you're using social media, is to display your value and your qualities as a person. That's why my mug shots are pinned to the top of my page. You know how many people then went, and granted, I don't use social media to attract clients. If you ain't noticed, like I don't really market the haircut thing because I'm booked, you know, but people still gonna find it and they're gonna go and they're gonna say, man, I seen your story, man. I wanted to come to you. I wanted to bring my son to you because you look like a man of value. Can you talk to my son? Or, man, I'm having these issues, or hey, man, I relate, et cetera, right? I have more of a personal development style environment, and that's the type of clients I have, from high-end from high earners to low earners, et cetera. But everybody comes in here kind of on the same thing because that's what I create. But that social media displays that a lot now. You don't have to be an influencer,
right?
You don't have to be an educator. You don't have to get signed to these clipper companies. You don't have to be on stage at the expos and stuff. Because if you get behind the scenes, you're gonna realize some things. Right?
Bro, I just said that the other day, and I had some people coming at me crazy. I'm like, listen, I'm really in it. Like, I'm literally in it. I have the off-screen conversations. I'm in it. I ain't gonna air people's business out, but I listen, guys, it's not all what you think it is.
Correct. It's not.
ROI isn't there. Cole, you make a good point when it comes to the social media. We gotta get Marv to lighten up on them too. Because Marv created that narrative where stop making all these haircut videos and these pictures of your haircuts. He said he didn't want to see that no more. But for the new beginner barber, until you make six figures, that needs to be a majority of your page. I think all of us on here can agree. You need to show.
I'm not arguing with you today, Will. I'm not arguing. What I will say is, because obviously you got to let the world know.
You need your portfolio, right? You need to let them know what time you get in. Let them know what time you leave. Let them know what work schedule you got.
You got like when you land on the page, it show. If I go on Cole's page right now, let me pull it up. We go on Cole's page. The minute I scroll, I can see 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 posts. Oh, y'all can't see 3, 6, 9, 15 posts. It don't need to be all tapers, bro. Like, we know you can taper, fam. We know.
No.
You have a taper here. You can have
a beginner
here. I mean, it don't need, bro. You wild.
But if you new in the game, though,
what I'm saying, if you new in the game, or what you teaching?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna get too much into strategy, but I look at it a little different. I say to people, document the journey type of thing, share what you learned, share some tips, like, dealing with a potential client, like ways to style your hair. Today in school, I learned that I use pomades for this particular style, like some content. Like that.
Okay.
So I guess it's still barbering related. It's just, bro, you showed me your skin fade 13
because if I was trying to build, but what me and Cole were talking about is if I'm trying to build clientele, I'm showing transformations.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, absolutely.
And that's going to be 80% of mine.
Yeah.
Especially if you can make them entertaining, like these young kids be doing. They do some really good transformations.
If you can, if I can get maybe I give you a little beginner where we doing a consultation. You tell me what you want. I show you the consultation piece. Then I show you the before, and then boom after, and then I'm like, look, if you're in Atlanta, come see me.
If you can put that entertainment value, I think that's the underlying thing.
I'm gonna tell you what not to put. Do not put real talks. They need to stop doing this. You beginner barbers.
He about to get them.
Please stop putting up the post saying I should be your barber. You ain't looking for clients, you're looking for customers, because you have the intent to take a client from another barber and have them come to you. Either you want them to come because your price is better or your cut is better. And only customers, not clients, look for those two things. They're going to go to the barber with the best price, with the best cut for the best price. Those are, anybody can do that, right? Anybody. But a client going to choose you because of the relationship y'all built, the value they get from you. Yes, the cut need to be good and stuff too. However, you steady saying, I should be your barber. Break up with your other barber and come to me. What? You're asking for customers. You
they gonna do you like you. It's like
that's not how you
girl,
approach it.
like the girl, right? Like she's
like,
with her husband, and you get her, and then be mad when she cheat on you.
Right?
That's how you got her, bro.
Right? You ain't gonna tell no chick, hey,
that's so real, right?
Be with me. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
that's
so real, because one of my clients, one of my clients, good friends, he I couldn't get him out. My schedule was busy and I had to fly out of town for a wedding just last week when I was in Chicago. I think we're cutting in and out. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. You was chopping.
Hello?
Up. Yeah,
you can hear me now. Okay.
So what I was saying is on life support. Will you back though?
To your point, right? To your point, right? You have about talking about barber time. I should be a barber, this and this and that. One of my clients, one of my best friends, I was in Chicago last week for a wedding and I couldn't cut his hair, so he had to go to the local shop. He drives an hour to get his hair cut, Bobby, still to this day. And he went to the local barbershop by the house. And he said he sat down in 2 chairs and was like, look, bro, just line me up. He's a pastor. He preaches on the weekends. So he got to stay clean, right? And he said, dude went right into, man, who cut your hair last? And man, he, this and this and that. Not knowing we've been tight for over a decade. I've been cutting his hair 15 years. And he's like, hey, yo, bro, like, miss me with all that, dog. Just line me up, man, so I can get on about my day. And he was like, bro, I was so mad. I wanted to get up. I needed an edge up, though. Just, kind of clean up. He said, so now I start doing it myself. If I can't get the just get it for myself. He said, because I hate when barbers do that. You trying to tear somebody down to make yourself look good.
You know what I call it?
Just happened last week.
I call it dirty clientele building tactics, right? I talked about this in one of my posts as well. It's a dirty clientele building tactic. You're going to talk down on the other barber to try to make yourself look well. Now, what if he would have said, okay, well, you my new barber. Then what's going to happen when he go have to try another barber for a backup, and then so on and so forth, right? But then you don't know that person may like what they get. They don't even know y'all relationship. You don't know their relationship with that other barber. You know what you finna do to yourself as a barber. It's like, can you build clientele off of you? What you bring to the table, how well you cut, how personable you are, your skills, your environment. You trying to take somebody else's client who like what they give and make them yours. So now you all over the place, right? You a barber that don't stand on nothing. You don't stand on nothing, because whatever I'm telling you, I done seen it. I done seen barbers have the pastor come in. They say, I love Jesus. And then the hood dude come in. They go, hey, what's up, homeboy? Know what I'm saying? So what you doing?
Who are you, bro?
Yeah, who are you? And some people say, well, Cole, you need to be versatile. No, you don't. You need to stand on what you stand on and attract the people who stand on what you stand on. This is how you get easy money from behind the chair.
Attraction.
You can talk to people about entrepreneurship, business credit. You could talk about certain things, a certain income, a certain lifestyle. They not offended because they have everything you have and y'all on the same thing. Man, the money become easy because you ain't doing it but chilling with your like people, making easy money, and you're gone. But your money gonna be hard if you try to jump all over the place just because you're trying to steal everybody else's clients.
Yeah, because that's the transactional mentality.
Yeah.
Versus the relational mentality. I have people that, there was once upon a time where people like, yo, forget the old client, they're not gonna pay you new price. I literally have people who paid me $25, $30 for a haircut before. Now pay me $100 for the same exact haircut.
Same.
and they come exactly for the experience.
Yep.
They're like, yo, when I leave your chair, I feel like I can conquer the world.
Mm-hmm.
The dialogue we have, we ain't sitting around talking about people. We ain't talking about the finals and none of that. We ain't talking about none of that. We talking about how to get some money. We talking about, you know what I mean?
They in my chair talking about the finals, and I'm telling them how the Mavs about to smack the Celtics. That's what they doing in my.
We talk about that at school. You know what I love about
the Knicks smack the Sixers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, that's old, man. That's so old, bro. God,
I know,
bro,
we both
so yo, but real talk. You know what I love too about the school? We gonna have the finals on the big screen.
Yeah,
in the school on Thursday night.
No, it's fun. I love that you guys are saying that about like the clientele, because when I did Gem Talk with Andy Authentic a while back now, but I was just telling him, like, I love my clientele. Like, I'm genuinely happy with my clientele. And when I look at my book and I see them on it, I'm a happy 99% of the time, because these are people that I genuinely vibe with, because I'm me, right? I do my best to carry myself well and do my best to show love and make people smile and make them feel good and motivate them and give them a dope haircut. And I just try to be on that type of time all the time. So, you know, doing this 13 years now, some people that sit in my chair, I'm not their vibe, they're not mine. They sit that one time, they never come back, right? But then over time, as you continue to stand on what you stand on, you end up having that clientele. Like you said, it becomes easy money, because you just kicking it with people that you just vibe with, bro. And like people say to me on TikTok and stuff, what do you do if somebody, you know, sits in your chair and doesn't pay for the haircut? Or what do you do if somebody tries to do this, that, or third? And I'm like, I've been doing it for 13 years now. I never deal with that anymore. I never got to worry about. I don't attract those type of people into my
relationships
world.
Are always
they don't come into my world, so I'm not dealing with that. Is that to say it could never happen? No, of course it could, but it doesn't happen like that, because I just don't carry myself in that way that attracts people that are going to do that to me, you know? So that's why I love what you said about just stand on what you stand on, and just stop trying to be the chameleon and trying to be everybody for everyone.
It looks
that's going to tire you the hell out, stress you out mentally and physically.
It looks desperate. And people know that. And just like relationships, if someone's looking for somebody that's desperate, then they probably not worthy of having. Right?
Say that again. What'd you say?
If someone is looking for another person that's desperate, they're probably not worth having. Right? It's the same way with clientele. You don't want to look cheap. You don't want to look desperate, because then now you're attracting people who are preying on your type. And we know, we dealt with in the beginning of our barber careers, the people that come in, they see you the new guy, they know your price low, they know you need clientele, and they try to you know, handle the whole situation. You know, some people deal with that their entire barber career because they never stand on nothing. Right?
Yeah, I always tell young people coming into game, like, show your seed, not your need. That's how you should always approach any situation. Show your, not your need, meaning what you want, right, or what you need. Show your seed, not your need. And when people go in there and they start backbiting and all that to try to, you know, get you know, favoritism or something with the client or all that, it just feels real needy, right? Desperate money don't make no money. I was just about to say that, Vinny. We talk about that all the time. Desperate money don't make no money. Shout out to Vinny, man. We had the sound bar up in the school today, man. Vinny came by last week and bought us a surround system. He bought us a surround system at the academy. I had him install it. We was in there like the club today.
Hey, Vinny hit me. Oh man, let me tell you, and we gotta talk about this. Vinny hit me up, man, and he went the only.
He always make his way into the chat too.
Yeah,
and he's good at what he does, and he don't even he ain't even at 3K followers yet, but Vinny is good at what
Vinny
he
killing
does.
it in real life. Look, so Vinny, man, I really appreciated that, and other people have hit me too. There's a barber in Texas going around using my license number, man. Crazy. Boy, done went. Yes.
Oh, no.
So Vinny,
man, no way.
So Vinny hit me up and told me, but he wasn't the only one. I done had 5 people hit me up so far. This guy, some guy from Chicago. He's a Hispanic guy from Chicago. He going around using my license. I done had women from shops, different shops in Texas. Vinny hit me. This dude is going around, and none of these people know each other, but it's the same guy, right? And he's using my license number, and I'm like, the number's public, so that don't matter. But people, you know, Vinny got his system set up where he checking it, right? So he checked.
Vinny ain't playing
I'm
now.
checking too. Yeah, I'm checking too.
And I guess other people weren't checking it, but then when they did, they would hit me up. They would find me and hit me up and show me pictures. I got the messages from all the people hit me. So, you know, some of y'all be careful out here, man. They using people license number, putting they faces on the license and all that, man. It's I don't know what type of scam that is, but it's definitely happening out here. I appreciate that too, Vinny.
Yo, Cole, how do you feel about work-life balance? I feel like they talk about that a lot nowadays. They want you to like it's work smarter, not harder. Work-life balance.
It's not there is no work-life balance, right?
Thank you.
And working smarter, not harder. All they want to do is charge $500 a head and cut 2 heads a day and go home. That's what they want to do. This the thing, man. You spend when you building up your barber career. I was married, like I said, when I started, and I was married for a while, and I didn't lose my marriage because I was behind the chair too much. See, the thing is this: most of the time I was at that shop because I needed to build, right? That need to be established with you and your significant other. All that want to lay up under your family and be at home, and all you want to do is lay up, sit up on the couch, be fat. Your kids over here on the couch, your wife over there, you on the phone, your kids on the pad. You ain't spending no time with your family. You lazy, and that's your excuse. That's your excuse to not be at that shop. You need to spend 90% of your time at that shop when you building. 5% to yourself, 5% with your family. Now, this little time that you spending with your family needs to be quality, meaning put the goddamn phones away, talk to your children, talk to your significant other. Interact with them, play a game with them, talk to them, have some type of something, you know, look them in their eye, you know, be there and be present. They will enjoy 1 hour, one quality hour of your time over you sitting up being fat, digging in a bag of Cheetos, sitting on the couch, scrolling on social media, looking at us.
Barbers.
Because that's all you want to do. And it ain't no work-life balance, man. You need to be building. When you get to like where Will I'm pretty sure you still grinding, right?
Will
but you
is,
gotta
a machine.
You built a lot though.
Something wrong.
You probably can chill if you wanted
he ain't
to.
From Earth.
Yeah, no,
you probably can chill if you want to. But you choosing to still grind because you got that dog in you. So if they don't got that in them, then I mean, this probably ain't where you need to be at, you know. You know what I'm saying? You want to chill with your family, you can. But when your girl asks you, hey, where that money at on them bills, man? Where that money at? You say you where that money at?
Hey, man, freedom ain't free, baby.
Yeah.
Freedom ain't free, man. You damn near got to die for that freedom, man.
Yeah.
Bro, and it's one of the best things I ever heard was you can't work smarter without working harder.
You
have to work harder in order to learn how to work smarter.
Exactly. It comes with time. Time brings you experience. They just want to come. I'm telling you, I see it. They'll jump in a suite soon as they get out of barber school, already messing up, flag on the play. Then you want to charge $150, $200 a head, flag on the play. And then you only at the shop Friday and Saturday sometimes. Why? Because people desperate for barbers on Fridays and Saturdays. If you new in the game and you got people on Friday and Saturday, that's not a sign that you booked. You could be booked up all Friday and Saturday. It's not a sign because you got people dying for haircuts on the weekends, for emergency haircuts at that. So you come in that shop on Tuesday morning, Wednesday gonna tell the truth about you. I'm gonna tell you that right now, right? Thursday, iffy, right? But them top of the weekdays, not the weekend, they're gonna tell if you at that shop getting it in or not, right? But you gotta man, you gotta get behind that chair, man.
Yeah, I tell you, don't nothing else even need to be talked about until you make 6 figures behind a chair.
Correct.
When people ask me, yo, Will, man, I need tips on this and this and that, I'm like, go get you some clients.
Yeah.
That's going to tell it.
6 figures the standard now.
People tell me all the time. They're like, well, Will, I've been saying it for the last decade. They're like, Stan, how did you know when it was time to open up a shop? I said, have you made 6 figures yet? they're like, nah, but I can't. I got the money. I can open up a shop. I said, money don't mean it's a good move.
Right.
I'm like, you need clientele, bro.
Yeah.
A shop with some chairs and some mirrors and a logo that say you own it ain't no business. It's a building. You need a
why did
book
you
of
open a
business.
shop? Why'd you decide to do the suite route instead of opening your own shop?
So I went to open a shop as soon as I came back from the pandemic. Before I came to the suite, I may try to open a shop. So I went searching, right? These commercial real estate properties, and I probably had like 30K saved up, right? I went to these commercial real estate properties, and it was a different. They needed the credit, and I had fairly decent credit at the time. I ain't know much about credit yet. I built it a little bit, right? It wasn't that important to me, right? So they needed that credit to be right. I didn't even have no business credit at the time. If I would have knew, I would have started building that earlier. But anyway, they go, okay, you're gonna need at least 15,000 sitting inside of the account untouched. For one, because they need to know that you be able to pay this for ahead. They go, okay, now you need the sign outside. You can't get a little banner. You had to get a fully functional sign with the light before you open the doors. And by the way, you need to get this building inspected. And there was no, like, you could see the pipes in the walls and stuff in this shop I was trying to get in because it was at a nice location. She said, oh yeah, you got to get the walls and the floors done and the inspection before you open the door. We did a little calculation, right? And that was a bag. I was like, yeah, I ain't ready for that. Right. I like to be ahead of myself on a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And
smart man.
And I really learned, I said, okay, I don't got a lot of these things in order yet. Like I didn't start building my business credit yet. And none of that type of stuff. I didn't even have my LLC yet until I actually opened my suite. You know, I ain't have a lot of things in order. I just thought but I had the cash, right? But not even enough for what my vision was. Now I could have easily paid $7,000, went to the hood, got one of these little properties, paid $900 a month, and I'd been limited as hell. And with my vision, I would have been limited as hell in the hood, right? But that wasn't my vision, right? That ain't where I was trying to go. So I was like, with the sweet life and where I see myself going, and what I'm trying to do in my career, and I've achieved a lot of that now and steady going. I was like, yeah, that made more sense. It was my goal anyway, but I did go try the shop route. It's still not off the table for me, right? Because I see the influence I built, and I was talking to the lady over at Clutch Barber Supply, Miss V, and Miss V was like, "Man, Cole, what you doing? The impact you have, you need to get an environment where you can grow some barbers." So that's either school or a shop, but a different kind of shop to where I can influence and expose some of these barbers to the knowledge and build up some leaders like we're doing. But in the future, I think I'm gonna look more into that. Right, it's not off the table with me though.
Yeah, and I was gonna lead you into our next question. Like, what do you see in 5 years? Because talking to you now, us verbally meeting for the first time. Our industry needs leaders like you to take a more leadership role.
I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? Meaning like community. Me and Marv are all about making the community barber cool again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how we do that is putting our best leaders and people with the right mindset back in the trenches with the people.
Yeah.
We got to learn to walk slowly through the crowd. Make time for the next generation. Because I'm going to be honest, man, they need help. I deal with a lot of the guys in school, 19, 20-year-olds. They're scared to talk to people.
Wow.
In our industry, that's tough. They need a leader. All of their leaders, unfortunately, are behind the screen.
Yeah.
They need somebody they can walk down the street with. There's no impact like personal impact from a leader. A person could talk to me on the phone. It's different when you stand next to me. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
We need more leaders in the trenches showing people the right way. We can speak to them all day. We put a microphone on that we got right now. We speak to them all day. But it's different when we in the trenches with them. And I see that every single day with the respect that I have at the students from my school, equipping them with the things they need to be successful. And I just want to encourage some of our top barbers and people with the leadership ability to go get in the trenches and take more people with them. I just think it's the most. I just think it's the most selfless thing we can do.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm going so hard. And Will, you know, is teammate through all of this to do my best to build up this platform because it's very, very particular about who I want to do these conversations with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like me and you don't know each other super well, right? Mm-hmm. But just us spending that little bit of time in South Carolina together and literally feeling your energy. I like felt your energy, and we had such a great, you know, moment, right? And then seeing your content and stuff, I'm like, all right, you know, once the people are saying he needs to be on a Gem Talk, I'm like, yo, they're right. They're right. Yeah. So, you know, obviously I told Will, I'm like, you know, Cole, how you feel about Cole? Will's like, Cole's solid. I'm like, we doing it, you know, because from the beginning, I say this all the time, from the beginning, my platform was always, my goal was always to build my platform so I can expose the people that pay attention to me to the people that got the game. You know what I'm saying? It's just way bigger than me. You're going to learn a lot from me, sure. But then we got Will, we got Cole, we got some of these other leaders. And it's like, I just want to do my best to give the right guidance, the real guidance, raw and unfiltered. Not trying to build this up with companies and brands and all of that. Right. Sure, there'll be times where that comes into play, but even that agreement got to make sense because you already know.
We just ain't filtering. We ain't filtering no conversation. Nobody, we ain't filtering. Me and Maura, we agreed to that. We was like, yo, we ain't putting no muzzle on nothing.
Right.
We took an oath to truth. We gonna tell the truth. Can we change an opinion? Yes, but we gonna change. We gonna tell the truth.
So I get offered to be on podcasts all the time, right? And you know, people hit me up all the time. I only did a few, and this was one. You know, I've seen.
We appreciate you too, bro.
Oh yeah, no problem. But I seen both of y'all content. I don't work with everybody on that note because some people is like, let me leverage this person's following. Y'all know how it go. People probably come to y'all too. Yeah, you want to leverage my following, but do you want to give value to the people? Because I'm more than just a person that just cut hair, right? I have some value to give to people because I care about people and lifting the next man up. That's a passion of mine. That's why my brand say Cold Cuts Own You, because I took ownership of my life and I use that. I get so many offers from barber expos and all this. Like, come on, it's like you trying to put a big name on your flyer.
Yeah.
But my question to them, and my girl's my assistant, she handled all of that, and we got a questionnaire. You have to answer, what are your goals here? What are your goals? Because you just trying to put a name on your flyer just so you can fill up a room and make your little dollars, and you ain't trying to bring no value to people, man. I'm probably not going to be part of your expo. You know what I mean? And I don't mind turning it down. You know what I'm saying? And this happens more than often. Like I got one this weekend in New Mexico, the New Mexico Barber Expo. The guy, you know, of course, he dropped his deposit. He said, man, I like what you about. I need you to bring that here because the people here need it. He explained the barber community and his impact in the community, how the city is in on the project, and he trying to develop barbers and leaders. And I'm, that sounds like
like somewhere you need to be for sure.
Correct. So I'm with that, man. I don't work for everybody either, you know.
I'm cool. I'm grateful. Like we're at a time where these like something is being built, bro. It's like we done put up with the bullshit for a little bit too long. And it's like the pieces are starting to formulate and come together. Like, nah. It's like it all starts with leadership, and the leaders are like the new leaders, the emerging leaders, and the people that, you know, are like, hold on, are really starting to come forward. And it's cool because I think it's only gonna help propel the industry forward. What were you about to say?
It's gonna help us all grow. Right. And you know, I just got finished reading you know, the latest book from my mentor Maxwell, and talking about high road leadership. And we were talking about how when you can develop high level leaders, everyone moves forward. Anything else is divisive, right? Because somebody else has to come up at somebody else's expense. But when you get your top people, your leaders, to step down and go into the trenches with the people, it propels everyone forward and nobody has to lose. And I think so many times once people get to the top or the perceived top, they disconnect. Right. I remember getting so frustrated with expos when they were like owners over here, employees over here. And I'm like, yo, what the hell kind of concept is that? Well, he's got employee mindset, this ownership mindset. And it just was so like derogative. And I was just like, look, man, at the end of the day, man, we need people to stop being separated and go inspire these people. And it leads me to my point I wanted to make earlier, that I teach my instructors, right? I said, listen, while you're in this school here, obviously you're going to teach content. But before you even get to content, I want you to spend 90% of your time encouraging, acknowledging, and affirming your students. Because until you build that relationship, until that bridge is built, you cannot transfer information. So all you're going to be doing is talking.
Yeah.
And if you're talking and ain't nobody following, you just taking a walk because ain't nobody coming with you. Right? And you're going to walk right in the door and you're going to walk right out the door. But before you do that, build them relationships, because once you do that, now you can offer the 10% criticism and they'll respond to it. Yeah. Now you can offer accountability, right? And they'll respond to it. But until the relationship is built, nobody is responding to anything. Yeah. They're clocking out. And then guess what you have to do? You have to call me and say, Stan, they not listening. And now I have to use my credibility to come back in and back you as my educator. Yeah. When if you would just do what I'm telling you to do from jump, it'd be a well-oiled machine even when I'm not there. So this is why I tell people the most important thing for me right now is teaching the teachers how to be effective communicators, because the information will not matter until you can communicate effectively. And I think that's what you guys do very well through social media. You simplify, you tell the truth, you be transparent. Transparency radiates when it's communicated. You know what I'm saying? It's got that extra, like, you know what I mean? Like sauce to it that resonates with people. And I think so many times, because people are in contracts with brands and different things, they filter everything they say and they become this puppet. Yep. Right? For a price. Yep. And it doesn't connect. And then these companies end up letting these people go because it's not organic and real content. And it's not who you really are.
You don't, right?
You say what?
Are you locked in with any companies?
No. I can't, I'm too raw.
I hear you.
People. And I'm not begging either.
Yeah.
They beg us. I'm not begging either. I'm not here to come and get some clip, but that's for the old way. We got social media now. It's 80,000 people follow me now. Not to brag, but hey, that's more
than few people in the world. That's a small percentage that got 80K and up.
My goal was 10,000 followers, and I thought that would be clientele. This whole thing then flipped. But anyway, I'm not begging them for that, because I don't see the financial opportunity in that. Also, don't see the impact being that I would, like Will said, I would have to filter myself. I done had them tell me you cuss too much. Okay, well, whatever. Stop. Don't ask me, But no, I'm not with no brands at the moment. And if they ain't getting with how I do things, I'm probably not gonna get with none of them.
It ain't aligning. And that's okay. I always tell people that it's like, yo, we can say no. Yeah. And we can come back and revisit in 2 years. Maybe it makes sense.
See that brand, that Wall or that Ulster or whatever, not to call out names, but barbers, some of these barbers still look up to that. And when they see the educator with that name stamped on it, they go, oh man, it's like they're validated now. Meanwhile, this guy's on stage trying to teach you how to cut some hair, because it's just all they doing is promoting a tool, but his arms little and his stomach big. I mean, you can't stop going to the refrigerator. So if the product that you're pushing is not promoting a better quality of life, then I don't want it. And I don't believe that.
I respect
that's a bar right there.
I respect it, dog. I respect it, and I'm glad you said it, and I'm proud of how you said it.
He said, if it ain't promoting a better quality of life, I ain't with it. I love that.
You can't stop going to the refrigerator. Cole is crazy.
It's that just blows me. It's like when I buy a new clipper, I expect for this clipper to be more efficient to help me make more money so I can increase the quality of life for my family and myself. You are not practicing that. You're just pushing the clipper, meaning you're more finesse than you actually are exposing us to something that's going to help us because you ain't using it yourself. So if I'd ask this person or whoever do that, hey man, how has it increased your quality of life? Or it make me more money? Well, I see what you're doing with your money. You eating most of it, right? So something is out of alignment. How you do anything is how you do everything.
Yes, indeed. I say it all the time.
Yeah, you can't kill in this area and then don't kill in this area, right? Yep. You can't be the best barber with the most clientele, giving the best cuts, and you all this, but you ain't treating your girl right at home, right? You holding in the street. Excuse my language. You steady doing all this stuff in the street. You can't be like that. If you ain't doing everything right across the board, it's only 3 areas: relationships, money, and your fitness, right? There's only those 3. If you ain't all across the board, I don't care what clipper company you with. It don't fit. You look like a finesser. You look like you know how to get people to buy more.
You look like you knew the right person.
That is, and that's we know how that goes.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny you talk about how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'll never forget. You know, I was at a business meeting and one of the speakers was talking, and you know I was young at the time, and I about 25, 26, and I went up to him and I was like, "Yo, man," I was like, "You're wildly successful, man." I said, "What's the secret?" You know, you young, you think like, "Man, what's the secret?" He said, "Will," he said, "Let me ask you something." I said, "Yeah, what you got?" He said, "When you go to the grocery store and you get your groceries and in your cart and you take your cart down to your car, you pack your trunk." He said, "What do you do with the grocery cart?" I said, "I just push it over to the side of the curb and just leave it there." He said, "That's the problem. You're not finishing the job."
Damn.
And I said, "What you mean?" He said, "Well," he said, "you also the person that goes home and sits on the couch and watches the game. You probably kick your little shoes off and stuff and leave them right there in the middle of the floor, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah, you're right." He said, "Then you go upstairs, you get undressed to go, you know, get in the shower. You probably leave your clothes in the middle of the floor for somebody else to pick up too, huh?" I was like, "Yeah." You know what I'm saying? He said, "Well, what I'm teaching you here is how you do one thing is how you do everything."
Yep.
He said, "So if you somebody who borrows something and don't put it back, you start something and don't finish." You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, like he like damn near undressed me in person. And I was like, he said,
"You got cameras in my house."
Right. He was like, yo, he was like, because what I'm telling you is, he said, until you can finish the small things, you'll never finish the big things. And if you never finish the big things, you'll never be anything. My life changed in that moment.
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
Y'all are listening. Y'all need to be flooding the chat.
That was a crazy gym right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's real, man. That's real. That's how I go. That's why I look at appearance for one, and not just to judge you off of your genetic things. I'm looking at the things that you are in control of.
Yeah.
You are in control of. It's going to show me where your discipline at, where your focus at, and what you willing and your level of sacrifice, right? And that could tell me if I need to either work with you or do any type of business or even buy something from you, because it's gonna show. And he was able to read you because he's seen one little thing. You're not gonna dominate in this area and not the other. It just don't work that way. It's not how it works. And that gives people an out too, right? Like people look at us. If they think what we saying, we dropping gems, we are knowledgeable and all of that, all they gonna do, some people gonna come and say, "Let me find the flaw." And then they find the flaw, and then that's they out. Now they don't gotta listen to you. Oh, well, he he don't do this, so I'm out, right? But if you got those 3 areas in order, man, across the board, you get more people. Well, you'll be a better leader because more people will want to follow you. I look up to married men. I look up to men who have one woman that loves them dearly and respects them. That tells me a lot about you as a man, right?
Yep.
You steady walking into these rooms, you want to get to the bigger stages, and you single and you a player, brother. The higher you go up, the more wedding bands you're gonna see. The higher you go up, the more structure you're gonna see, right? So and it ain't just for the look. That means you got somebody that respects you and loves you and care for you and hold you to a high regard. And that if they can do it, somebody else can too. You know,
I always tell people, you love Marv and everything he does, and you're inspired by me. You better go thank my wife,
right?
Because, bro, without her just being my backbone and my rock, man, I could be all over the place, man.
Yep.
So it is.
Mine
I
too.
agree with what you're saying. Where you say like that, the higher you go up, or just even the energy you surround yourself with, the better the energy, you start to notice there's these similarities and these things that are common. And you're right, you see more of these. And,
when I
my wife, I love you, baby. She ain't watching, but I love you.
I was telling you guys earlier. I started writing my book, and the theme of the book, I'll give it to you, but it's going to basically the theme. I'm going to use my story and the things I've learned over all the trials and tribulations of entrepreneurship that I've went through in my life, personally and professionally. But one of the things I tell people is the stewardship of it all. Those resources Cole is talking about, your fitness, your finances, you know, the mindset, all that stuff, the other stuff, right? You have things. The book is going to be called "What's in Your Hand" by Will Stam, because my career started when my grandmother bought me a pair of trimmers and told me I had to learn how to shave, and I built that into a multi-million-dollar business by the time I turned 38, right? So everybody has something that they currently possess in their hand right now, whether it's quality relationships, whether it's money, whether it's a mindset, fitness, some sort of resource that you have. And you have to use the resources you already have to acquire more. And the more you acquire, the more you have to be generous with to keep acquiring. And I see so many of us cut off the pipeline. We get knowledge, we don't share. We get, one step ahead, and we try to, you know what I'm saying, save that for just us and our partners, and we can't give back. It's like I was owning 3 shops. I didn't have to go build a school, but I wanted to make an impact on the next generation coming up and teach them the real stuff, stuff that I didn't have.
Now that makes you a true OG, right? We got a lot of barbers. I had a lot of older barbers say, man, forget all that social media stuff. I don't need none of that. I don't need I got my money. I've been winning in the game. I've been making all this money, and I don't got to get on the social media. Well, if you've done all of that and you're not reaching back to teach another person how to do it, and you can reach those people through social media, then that means you standing on top of your little mountain and you clutching your ones and you saying, yeah, I'm the big dog, and y'all ain't got what I got. It's your ego. You trying to be, the big man, but you ain't reaching down and helping nobody.
Right? That's what I was saying. We got to get off the soapbox. And we got to get down in the trenches, because that's where the real leaders are. And I got that from a lady. She worked for the Atlanta Braves for like 10 years. I was at a gala, we were donating some money, and that's where the best people are. You go to them 5K runs and them charity events where people are donating money. That's where you're going to find the real winners, right? That's where they hang out at. They don't hang out at the club. They hang out at galas and, eating salmon and potatoes, right? So, I was at the gala and I was sitting down talking to her. She just happened to be at my table, and I was like, hey, what do you do? And she's like, I work in the marketing department for the Atlanta Braves. I said, that's a Fortune 500 company. What's the secret? And she told me, she said, well, Will, she said, the only thing the Atlanta Braves are focused on is getting the next generation interested in the sport of baseball, because that protects the future of their business. And it's why I tell shop owners and barber leaders, get involved in the schools in some capacity. Stop complaining about what they aren't. And go get involved and make a difference. Because if you're going to own a shop or you're going to make money off of this industry, at some point you're going to have to give something back to it. If you don't have money, you have time. Give something. I built a foundation, and I tell shop owners, they want to recruit from my school. I said, make a donation to my foundation and I'll give you an opportunity. Right? All I'm going to do with the foundation, it protects your resources. it's IRS mandated that I have to use it for scholarships for barbers. Will cannot spend it on his personal lifestyle. If you give the money to me, I can. If you give it to the foundation, it goes directly to impacting your industry in a way that you're ultimately going to want to recruit from.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, I always tell people, giving starts the receiving process.
Mm-hmm.
You want to receive resources like Barbers for opportunity to build your business, pour into it first and watch the waterfall turn on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna teach people that it's different. It's different because people think I'm being a gatekeeper because I don't let just anybody come in my school.
Yeah.
No, I'm funneling away.
We need to get Cole at the school
industry.
We gotta figure that out.
We definitely got to get Cole. You know, it's so crazy. Cole was one of the first people to apply, and I had to call his help, and somehow we got disconnected.
Yeah, we had so much stuff around that time. We still do, but she'll handle all that. She filled all that out too.
I was like, yo, can I just talk to Roderick, please?
Hey, man, we got a lot of people that are come. Man, I had somebody that y'all all know, but was mad because he had to go through my assistant and he made a post about it and went crazy. So I had to FaceTime him and I got unprofessional. And we had to tighten that up because he was unprofessional with my assistant, which is my girl. Right. Bro, we don't do that, buddy. But because because the way we do it, you know, she know my business like the back of her hand. And she protective of it. Y'all know y'all got wives.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they know everything.
My wife, man,
they can feel it right away.
My wife, you better not say nothing bad about me while she around.
Correct. And but we just have a way we do it to make sure people see us. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
So because we get so many people hitting us, and but this guy made some posts, and yeah, I had to call him because I had the guy's number, and I'm like, dude, if you really want to do business, you should have these things in line. And I'm like, I had to get unprofessional with this guy because he went to the internet with it, and dude, that's like we doing business and we don't play. Yeah, that was a different level. But anyway, I wouldn't mind, man. You know, we'll work it out. We got, and plus we way more experienced now as well because we've been doing a lot of more things as well. So we can get it done. We got everything in place. Like we don't even gotta do too much. We just get our goals in a line. Get everything.
Sit down, make it make sense. I'm with you. I'm with you all day. I'm with you all day.
Yeah.
I love to have you come out and you know what I mean, see what we're doing. So it's like I just had Vinny come out. Marv was out, you know what I mean? So and Marv is incredible, and he just comes out.
Is this your wife right here?
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
I'm just doing my job.
Appreciate you doing my job. That's dope too, where it's like it's my wife. You know what I mean? Like I love the family, the family element of it all.
Yeah, my wife.
Like when I'm at shows and stuff, I be having my pops with me. I be having my wife with me, my kids sometimes. So I love when I see people just including the family. It's just
you know, like I tell the barbers, man, you gotta get you someone that's gonna come in, understand what you got going on, jump on board. They ain't coming in saying, "Ooh, you make 6 figures and we need to go do this, do that, do all the shit we see on TikTok." And I know they come in. They come in and say, "Look, how can I help you achieve? Hey, look, you do this well. You don't worry about this. I'm gonna take care of this part. You do what you good at. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna add my skills, and you come together, and then you see yourself grow with that person, and you like, okay, this is a thing, but you gotta have that type of person, especially as a barber, because you your career go wherever you want it to go.
For sure.
As far as you want it to go, and by yourself, it ain't that good by yourself because you may just see me. But we working.
That's how me and my wife are. Like, you know, a lot of people see, you know, everything that I got going on and stuff. And my wife is behind the scenes doing all the desk work. I got my hands in stuff, so much stuff. She's handling all that. Like, you know, now we got situated and stuff because we already come up on our 2 years where we can start getting the GI Bill and financial aid in February. And she'll be in the office. And, you know, my teenage daughters, we're training them this summer. So this is their summer job. They're gonna be working the front desk and putting in hours and SAT reports and all this stuff because I'm enrolling the family in the business.
Yeah.
And when that stuff goes through, you know, I'm not hiring outside people.
There you go.
My daughter will be, you know, the person over, you know what I'm saying, the front desk and all that. My wife will oversee all of the financial aid reports. I'll be over the curriculum and the hiring and stuff. And then, you know what I mean? My other daughter will be in business and marketing and teach her how to play with the camera and creating graphics. And my entire family, my daughters, will be the operating system. And all I'm gonna do is just recruit and teach.
That's well respected. That's respected. Yeah. I'm telling you.
And I told them, if y'all want to go to beauty school and do makeup or lashes or something, we'll just expand the school and we'll put a beauty side in and we'll get financial aid for that. And the family will be rich. And
Barbers.
That'll be the boss until, you know what I'm saying, until I pass it down to you, and then you just keep the operation going. Because I teach my daughters this all the time. Like, you think about Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones and the Hines family and all that, Pittsburgh Steelers, all this stuff, all these, the Cubans and all that, like all these, this family run businesses.
Yeah.
And I used to hear so many people come my chair, what, you want to work with your wife? I'm like, yes. I lay next to her every night. She gonna tell me the truth.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm tripping. She gonna tell me when I did wrong, when I was out of pocket. She gonna like, there were times where I had to make tough decisions in business, and I knew I was gonna lose Barbers. And my wife looked me dead in my face, and I was over there contemplating, like, dang, you know what I mean? Because I got a responsibility to take care of my family. Letting $14,000 walk out in a month is a little. It's gonna set some alarms. But my wife will always speak life into me when she'll talk to me, and she'll say, if they can't respect you in your own business, they gotta freaking go.
Yeah,
I don't think she says that though.
Exactly. I'm trying to be respectful.
I don't think she says that, guys.
No, she's like, they gotta effing go, guys. They can't respect you in your business. They gotta go. Enough said. You don't owe them joking, no apology. They don't even need no damn explanation. If they can't have common respect for your business and your principles, they gotta go.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care. We'll shut all this shit down. You know what I'm saying? Like, because she run with me, and she like, look, man, you ain't doing nothing wrong to these people, man. I know who you are. I know the type of work you put in. If they can't have common courtesy and respect, it's over with for them. And she don't feel no type of way.
See that?
Like, look, because she know she get the behind the scenes phone calls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I'm frustrated, when I'm tired, when I'm annoyed, when a person stole from me, or, you know what I'm saying? All that. She get all that. So she know the real me. And she like, look, man, they can't respect it. It's over with. You know what I mean?
I just love it because, like, my wife, and I'm sure your wives are the same way. They're like they're like that cheat code, right? Because they just know stuff right away. Bro.
Sense,
like,
man.
if I walk up to somebody at an expo with her right away, I'm like, "What's up?" They know right away. I don't like him.
Yep.
Like,
They do.
Yep.
I just don't.
Yeah.
And there was a time I used to argue with my wife about that, and my thinking was, well, if you can't give me reasons, then nope. She's been right every single time. Yeah. Or she's like, I like him.
That's
she's right every single time. So now she's like that little. It's a cheat code. It's a hack.
She love you, man. Look together, and that's something we gotta get away from, all the separation stuff we see on social media. But together, bro, like it's a force because she love you, man. That's a shield, right?
Yeah.
She see the things you don't, right? And because she love you, and if somebody got ill intent, she gonna peep it right out gate. You feel me? I take my girl to expos with me all the time, man. And it's the beautiful part. You walk away, go to the bathroom or whatever. Everybody in their suits or whatever. This may be the gala part or whatever, right? Yeah. You come back, guys got a little more respect for you. You like, and she done went around here and talk you up to everybody. Yeah. So they like, man, because she didn't just talked about you on a higher level, right? Like, and you like, whoa, she work a room and speak highly of you. That's a good representation of you, man. That's why I say, man, you got your wife on your side, your significant other, and y'all got that foundation. It's a plus. It's a winning.
It's how you win, man. It's the favor ain't fair vibes, man. I always tell people, it's like, it's certain things, man, I can go into fearless because I know, man, my wife, we're gonna figure it out. Yeah. And we'll always come out on the other side better than we were when we went into it.
Ain't nothing two people can't do.
Hey, man, if two or three agree on a common purpose, nothing is impossible. That's right. Bible.
I like that.
Barbers. That's the book of barberations or something.
Barberations.
So check it, man. Guys, let us know in the chat how you felt about this gem talk. Flooded with some gems. Cole, where can they find more of what you do at?
At Cole Cuts brand on Instagram, COLECUTZ brand. Y'all see it on the screen. It's the same Cole Cuts on YouTube. On it's Cole Cuts brand on Twitter, on TikTok. Everything is that same tag. You can find me there, man, and brace yourself because boy, I use some swear words. I tell you that now. So tell your kid, put your kid to the side.
And you got some stuff too. What you want to go over what some of this stuff is real quick too?
Okay, so we got the workshop, of course, in New Mexico on June 9th coming up. Digital influence ebooks. Yeah, so and that's the New Mexico Barber Expo that we have in Albuquerque. That's gonna be dope. I'm teaching the digital influence. I got my ebooks here. Man, from anything from building your social media, building your clientele.
And no chili bowls.
Chili bowl shirt is classic.
Yeah, I had to make those greatly, and that's my clientele explained ebook to teach you, the ins and outs of building clientele. These ebooks, short, sweet, straight to the point. They're not with all the fluff. I'm not trying to sound smarter than you. I'm trying to expose you to the game I got, and they're written by me, not no AI. We know that's happening now. And they in my tone, so you might see some curse words in them too. But anyway, they good, and we got the 6-figure barber in Spanish as well. That's my girl. She's Puerto Rican. She could not get away from that. This is my website. I got coaching. I coach barbers, of course. And if you want to book me, podcast, expos, or anything like that, you send that email through there. We got a little intake form where you fill it out so we can kind of see what you buy, because everybody is not accepted. But yeah, man, we'll add more as we go or whatever that's needed. But I'm definitely in the industry. I'm putting the work in, and I'm here to help, right? But also, we got to make our money too. I'm not one of them to say, oh, it's all about the people. No, I need to make my money while I help people.
Yeah, because it's going to help you make a bigger impact. And the people who get it understand that, and they want to support the cause because they know
it was so crazy when I was listening to a guy explain that to me one day. I was at a conference, and he said, well, here's why you need to make as much money as possible. He said, because if you're the right person who can make as much money as possible, all it's going to do is give you more options to make a difference. He said, I'd rather the money be in your hands than somebody who don't know what to do with it. And that changed my mentality when it come to earning money. Because the more money that I earn, the more I give away, the more positive impact I make. If I didn't make money off my shops, am I building a school? No. You got to make money. You want the money in the right hands of the right people. Because all the money doesn't make you who you are, it amplifies who you are. So if you're generous, if you're smart, if you're a giver, if you're a quality leader, all money going to do is largen your impact, increase your territory. You know what I mean? Expose people to the right stuff. I tell people all the time, you can give me as much money as there is. All I'm going to do is reinvest it back into where I'm at in the community. I don't buy flashy stuff. I wear white and black t-shirts every day. I drive a paid off car.
$4.90, you know what I'm saying? Black
t-shirt. The more money I make, the less fancy stuff I buy. It's just starting to get it's like it don't matter. I mean, I'm in shape.
If you can buy it don't matter no more.
Yeah, it started to be like, whatever, Now, granted, I like a certain quality of life, but we don't gotta be flashy, man. We trying to be valuable.
Freedom, man. Tom.
Shout out to y'all too, Rel. I know. Speaking of money, Rel did a $4.99 donation.
Shout out to Rel.
That did the super chats. Rel did, and Carrie did too. So appreciate y'all
for Carrie too.
Super chats. We appreciate y'all.
For sure. I'm glad people getting value, man. You know what I mean? We when we get on here, we don't come to waste nobody's time.
Yeah, and one of the things you guys can do, man, for free, if you got a lot of value out of this, like it, because that helps on social media. Like it, and then just share it with somebody. Take a screenshot, share it to your story, tell people go watch it. Because at the end of the day, man, if you feel like it helped you, you probably got some people in your life that it will help them as well. And they'll probably appreciate it just like you did too. And that don't cost you nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just a little quick like, a little quick share, tag us in it. We'll show you some love and all of that. You know, good stuff. Cole, anything you want to lead the people with?
You know, just tap into the content and you're gonna get a lot of game. I can't say nothing that we ain't already said, right? we didn't went in on you. I just say this, man, just stop being over informed and start performing. Put some of these gems in place, man. Being a barber is not hip hop. Okay. It's not just hip hop. Okay. It's not just a haircut. Okay. It's about you growing as an individual first, right? Because some of us barbers, it's not because we cut well, it's because we grew well, right? We grew behind
the gym.
Yeah, real talk.
Barbers.
So just pay attention to your growth behind that chair, man. That's what it's about. It ain't fluff. That's just the real deal. That's what it really is, you know.
Yeah.
Will, you got anything you want to leave with?
Yeah, here's what I want to piggyback off of what Cole is talking about. And he's telling you not just to be over informed, right? I want to encourage you to seek out an accountability partner. Even if you have to pay for it. Right? Accountability is what you want. Information is free. You got a ton of information tonight. But the implementation is what costs. Right? And in order sometimes to get the implementation process going, you need somebody who can hold you accountable. Find somebody that you respect and allow them to hold you accountable. Accountability will take you places that regular ability can't even think about. We're going to have to be accountable at some point if we're ever going to move forward. Some people can have natural ability without accountability and it goes nowhere. Some people can have average ability with a whole lot of accountability and they go a whole lot farther. Accountability is what we need to be looking for. Information is everywhere you look. Accountability is not. So seek out an accountability partner and allow them to hold you accountable. That's
Barbers. And I just want to say I appreciate y'all for tapping in and spending time with us. All three of us understand that time is the most valuable thing you can give someone. So the fact that you guys spent however long you spent rocking with us, we are grateful for it and we appreciate it. This will be going live on my YouTube channel right after we end. So if you didn't catch the whole thing, you can go back and rewatch it. So make sure you do that. This is one of them gem talks you're going to have to watch a couple times, man. Throw it up on the TV in the shop tomorrow. Let the other barbers hear it. Throw it up on it when you're in the suite tomorrow. You and your client can check it out. This was jam-packed with a lot of value. I got a lot from it. I know Cole did, Will did, and I know you guys did too. Callie said it's way past his bedtime, and you done made Callie love you. Let's go, Callie.
Let's go, Callie.
We appreciate y'all. So
hey, man, love is the only thing that changes people, man.
Hey.
So Will and Cole, hang out. I'm gonna end the stream so we can chat for like 5 minutes.
All right.
And to everybody else, y'all take care. Until next time, keep chasing your greatness, and we will tap in with you soon. Barbers!
Barbers! Let's